to the lawyer friend whose name I have long since forgotten. And you had made a deal for teleportation, for transportation to your vessel. And I even have a whole new phone. Like, this isn't even the phone I've been working on. I don't even have any of those notes.
Rimmon Virtue.
Okay.
I was going to say...
Who's the lawyer friend?
Somewhere.
Impressive, by the way.
I take notes.
You do.
So
do I. I'm looking at them now. I'm like, wait, he has it. Where's?
Always surprises me how thorough your notes are.
Mr. Virtue Esquire says, as he is also a servant of Asmodeus, says, I can teleport you at the cost of a favor later. And that's kind of where we left off. You should.
We did the favor though.
Yeah, the favor was the law case, and that's how we accidentally opened Stormwind and Frost.
That's why Stormwind and Frost exists.
Literally, the only mistake we made was not
talking to the guild.
We would have gotten it was not registering with the Waterdavian Guild. Yeah.
That whole affair was not a favor to him. That was a job from Asmodeus.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
He was merely the messenger.
Yeah, I thought that we had gotten the favor from the bookseller was sending us somewhere to get us in touch with someone to do a favor for the teleportation. And I thought we had stopped right before we met whoever this person was going to be.
That sounds correct.
Well, it's not.
Okay.
Fair enough.
It's not anymore.
All right.
There was a plan, and Past Dan didn't type it up, so it's in a notebook somewhere.
Okay.
So
rumors of this plan have been greatly exaggerated.
Yeah, the last thing I have is the Dripping Dagger, an inn in Waterdeep where the party stays during and after the events of the Lion, the Witch, and the Lineage.
So with that, Virtue is just going to teleport you guys out of Waterdeep. As getting to the ship, I recall, was very much priority. Are you guys ready for the epic adventure that puts a nice bow on everything we've done?
Yeah.
Too bad we're not doing that.
I was concerned. It's like a bow, but we don't have our bard.
Nope. Even if he was here, it still wasn't that. I'm shaking the rust off. So in any case, the teleportation circle is complete, and with all of your things, including your young companion, whose name the hell was his name?
The kid. That's right.
Joseph?
It was Joseph. I'm almost certain of it.
You're waiting for me to confirm this.
I
am looking through my notes so hard. It's like, did I just not write down Joseph of all the things that I didn't write down? I don't have Joseph in my notes. I think it was Joseph. That sounds right.
It was Joseph. It's fine.
The only thing I have here is Little One. I have Little One, the ogre who smashed an adventurer and took his Helm of Intelligence as a ring.
Yes, that's right. I remember Little One. He's actually in Mysteries of Candlekeep.
I fucking love that exists. Yeah, that is old Candlekeep lore.
I have Little One, but I don't have Joseph. I'm so sorry.
Shit.
You have the priorities. It's fine.
I'm gonna add Joseph here. There's a small child given by a fiend.
I'm not sure.
His name Joseph Smallchild.
Yeah, but
that's a wonderful name. Joseph Smallchild.
Joseph Smallchild.
As bait to catch a unicorn.
All of you together, including Roger and the Joseph Smallchild, who I believe learned how to use daggers.
you did.
Yes, I've been teaching him knives.
Oh god.
You've been teaching him knives.
I'm teaching the boy to stab.
I do recall at some point he threw one in, like, you gave him a dagger and he threw it in the well.
Yes.
And he wished for parents. And then you all
became his parents.
And then you all adopted him. I don't know why that's fun.
It's so good.
Hello, it's me, Joseph Smallchild. I'm going on an adventure. So you are all whisked away magically through the devilish heat and fire of Hell's portal, and you find yourself traveling through light. The spectrum opens up in front of you, and with a sucking noise that ends in a big at the end, you find yourself standing in the middle of the day, like an early afternoon. You find yourself standing in what looks like it was once a thriving town, but seems now only to be a husk of a town. Long since burned buildings partially collapsed, a clock tower that barely stands, the bell at the top had long since fallen away. Burned out buildings around you, and you seem to stand right in the middle of a well that seems to just sit, cobbled in, nearly just a hole in the ground, barely any stone around it. As you have arrived here, what would you like to do?
Wait, where the hell are we?
That's an excellent question.
Supposed to be.
To the best of my knowledge, or at least nearby.
They've really let it go.
Didn't take him long either.
This doesn't look like any part of Candlekeep we've been to.
I mean, we haven't exactly been all over.
As you look around, you do not see the massive spires or great stone walls of Candlekeep. Instead, you see what looks like extremely large trees that border the town and are slowly beginning to grow into it.
May I perhaps try a spell?
Of course.
Okay, I would like to... Oh, have we had long rests? Because apparently I still have some spells marked off from the last time we played.
Yeah, long rests. You're all good.
Okay, cool. Let me just quickly...
That.
Boop. Okay, so... Really? I only have one 5th level spell slot? I just think it's worth it, though. Okay, before I use the spell, I just want to be filled in on a couple things that my memory is blanking on. What was our intent in going through the portal initially?
Your intent was to just get back to your ship.
Was to get back to the ship. Okay.
It's been kind of nebulous what you guys would do from there, but just getting back to the ship. Roger has a friend who was willing to help him find his family. You guys handed off one of the rod of many parts off to a dryad in the forest somewhere.
Yep.
That was a friend of
Setet criminals.
Setet was attacked by apparently the group trying to get those rods from him.
Yep, we knew that bill was gonna come due at some point.
Yep.
So, can I ask a real quick question? And
Sure.
because I don't recall, and maybe the DM does, because I don't know that we ever actually did it. When we asked for teleportation, did we ask for teleportation to Candlekeep or to the airship that this party owns?
To the airship.
Okay,
So if we look up, do we see the airship?
You do not.
Shit. All right, I have a couple.
Well, let's
You
not
gotta get it
panic.
right.
Let's assume that if we cannot see it in the air, that perhaps it will be on the ground.
I do have a couple of 5th level spells that I could use to hopefully remedy this situation. However, I do have only the one slot. So, I'm thinking I could commune and ask the questions. I'd get 3. Or I could perform a scryan. And
Perhaps we're in a town. I mean, it's a shitty town. Don't get me wrong, but there could be someone living here. I mean, you could try to ask.
The other question. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
My other suggestion would be I can, as a ritual, cast Skywrite, but then the only problem with that is that we would advertise our presence to all who are here. So your suggestion of a town, quite frankly, is almost certainly the more reasonable one.
I have my doubts that there's any living soul to be found, but it is better to exhaust that resource and prove that we cannot use it before spending the spells. So
the buildings here, do they look like, human habitation? Is it built into the trees? Like, is this an elven village? Like, what are we looking at?
You could roll me either a history check or let's go nature. History or nature, whichever you care for.
Fair enough. 13, reasonable enough.
On which roll?
Oh, history. Sorry.
Okay. With a history check, looking around at the houses, you do notice that there is a significant amount of fine carved wood, but it's not everything. They seem to be accent pieces, so you think this is probably not entirely, but partially a wood elf village.
Then the logical question becomes, do I recognize where I am, since I'm a wood elf from the wood elf forest in this world? Like, I don't know the name of the kingdom, but we can kind of look it up really quick.
Yeah, that's fine. Not with a 13. However, you would know that there is a certain part of Faerun in the Sword Coast where the trees seem to grow a lot taller than other trees. They're spaced out.
Forest.
Yeah, it's like a high forest.
But it's not the high forest.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, there's no deep lore on this. No, unfortunately, not this time.
So legend lore won't work.
No, legend lore will work to an extent, but there's no nods to the Forgotten Realm lore for you this time.
Gotcha.
But you do recognize you were told stories of places where trees can hide giants.
Ooh.
Well, so I say, shit. I think we might be home, which I'm not terribly happy about, but this seems to be lodgings of my people, or at least the outskirts of them.
Setet, is there anything you want to do?
Not really. I mean, if I can do also do a history check, I don't want to pile on, but
sure.
Maybe see if I can figure out maybe if I've done crime here before.
Have you done a crime? Okay. Yeah. Then do me specifically a history check.
History. Okay. But all of a +0.
Oh, nicely done.
Natural 18.
Hey.
Okay. Okay. You've heard of very few settlements in an area like this. Mm-hmm. There's really nothing too uncommon or uncanny about these woods. It is kind of a place where giants seem to roam around, so some places do and don't try to exist here. You do recall a story that is no more than 15 years old, that there was a town called Farental, and it was said to have been besieged by Etten that were under the control of orcs.
Then subsequently abandoned?
Unfortunately not. It just, there's no word of what happened after. There's only word that no one has ever come back from there.
Well, shall we take a look around?
Just be careful. I think I know where we are, and the trees may have a vendetta. We'll go with that. Yeah.
Then
I scan the ground for tracks and that sort of thing. Would that be a thing we could do?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a survival check.
Can I roll a history or religion check on the trees? Story about the trees. Is there no further knowledge to be gained, per se?
There really wouldn't be anything relevant. However, if you explore, you might find something in that alley.
Failed my survival check.
Okay, you don't survive, you die.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's how the dice roll, man.
You said investigate something in the alley?
Well, no, if you kind of walk around the settlement, you might notice some things.
Okay. Don't necessarily have to do an investigation check yet.
Then let us carefully explore.
Allons-y.
So as you kind of start walking around, strikes from afar, you don't really see any kind of footprint. There's whatever had come through here at the time was long enough that it had just been washed away by, a dozen seasons and more. But the main thoroughfare which you're on once held, what probably was pubs, butcher shops, and none of these were of very high quality, but simply made to weather storms and survive. The destruction of the town around you seems to ring of absolute devastation. However, you do come across what looks like a great pile of stones. And from what you can see, they seem to still be well carved, though they are broken. But what stands in front of it is a moss-covered, rotting, 8-foot-tall effigy of someone standing and holding what looks like green leaves in their hand in front of them.
Pointed out to the party, I said, I may need to revise my opinion. I don't think I'm home. Elves lived here. However, I don't recognize that statue off the top of my head. Does that do anything for any of you?
The symbol that we're seeing?
There is a statue.
Can I roll a history check on it?
Yes, you may.
All right, thank you. Okay. That's not going to be great. That's going to be a whopping 13. 14.
With a 14, you know that historically effigies are built in honor of deities, of people who are whatever this is. They were someone of importance to the town.
I would like to use my Eldritch Sight ability to cast Detect Magic. Magic?
It is. There's a level of divination and conjuration about it. You think generally, because I don't really have much to describe it more, just kind of looking at it, you think there's magic holding this effigy together.
Gotcha. It's not well built, but it's got some good magic about it. Somebody definitely wanted it to stand the test of time, if not anything else.
Kind of wander over to it and look at the base of it to see if there happens to be any writing at the base or anything like that.
Roll me an investigation check.
Sure. I will be bad at all of these checks, so it's amusing that you keep asking me to.
If you don't find anything, I'm proficient in investigation. So
I believe I said that there is a statue here. As I spend 5 minutes looking at the bottom of it, I'm fairly certain. And that was a bad roll, so I'm not even going to bother to say what it was.
You do not recognize anything at the base of it.
So are we all investigating the statue now?
Yep, I'm gonna do that.
All right.
I will.
Oh, wow! I rolled really. I invented it. I say invented. I built myself a dice tower because I've been rolling so low lately, and my Avernus die just rolled a 2.
Oh. I do like dice towers. I might have you covered, maybe. I got a 12 on my investigation.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna grab my dice tower. It's right behind me.
I would grab mine, but it's even worse luck. It's cursed.
Waste.
As you look at the base of the tower, at the base of the effigy, you kind of move a little bit of dirt and soot around, and you see that there is something inscribed in Elvish. Do you speak Elvish?
Ooh, I do.
Eyes of the Rune Keeper!
So does she.
just one moment. I see you all getting excited, and I just go read it because elf. Please.
You see that it has the title Our Goddess, and I was so ready to say this until it's time to say it. Got fucking gun shy. In Watari.
So I am not personally, like as a human being, not in this
Sure.
game, familiar with the gods of the Forgotten Realms. Would that be someone, a wood elf who,
Absolutely.
literally? Okay, great. So
Dark Seldarine or the Dark Seldarine?
Light.
So Seldarine. Okay.
In Watari is a much lesser known demigoddess of like harvest, of mercy, of fertility, of passiveness. It's it's kind of exactly the kind of thing a small community would worship. And as you kind of look up the small green herbs the statue seems to be holding, to you now is very similar to her symbol. Though the figure holding them does not appear to represent the goddess.
Is there a religion check to understand why they might look different if this is supposed to be a sacrilege or something?
You're welcome to roll it.
That's a big fat 8.
You're unsure.
My die betrayed me. I think you were going to say something, Strikes?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, elven goddess, sort of for peasants and farmers, farming, happiness, hearth, just pretty normal stuff.
Gonna look around and say, guessing the people are wishing they'd picked a different goddess to worship at this point.
I mean, to be fair,
you know what? Actually, on that thought, Strikes and Johann, since you have made the comment and Strikes you now know this, both of you roll me perception checks.
Okay.
Boy, okay.
Get a different die since the one is...
So perception, slightly better scores. Oh my god, how is that possible?
I got a 13.
Right. So with my plus 10 perception, I rolled a 12, which is not great.
Wow.
What's your passive perception?
That's a fair point. My passive perception is 20,
okay.
So I'll go with that.
Yeah.
So the two of you actually, on that thought, should have got a better goddess. The two of you look around and you notice that there is nothing growing within eyesight.
That's a problem if the goddess is a fertility goddess of sorts.
Well, there's those herbs in her hand, though, right? You said they were actual green foliage?
Yes. Yes.
I think she may have cursed this place.
Corrupted in some way, yes. And to be fair, people like this generally don't need their gods to protect them. That's what the army's for.
I got this far. I'm not sure if the army is going to be much good out here. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
This place was besieged by Ettins. I mean, within the past 20 years, I don't know if anybody ever came back. Story just kind of ends.
Nature roll to know what an Ettin is.
Could it be that we need to put this statue with its person? If that makes sense.
Nope, it did not. Could you please repeat that?
Could the statue is for the goddess, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So would it not make sense to is she's holding herbs in her hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Are they actual herbs or are they stone?
Oh, let's go find out. I climbed the statue and go look.
Because could it be that we need to put the statue in her hand instead?
As you climb up this effigy, Stripes from afar, you do reach the top and you see that these are strangely still lush herbs. They haven't grown into the straw this is made of or anything. They just seem to still be healthy.
So
Right.
that means one of two things. Either there's some sort of one of three things. There's some sort of enchantment on it. The goddess is specifically keeping these plants fresh, or somebody put them there today.
Well, I guess I could roll a nature check to see if I recognize the herbs. That seems like a thing I could do. Pretty sure I'm just going to fail. Oh my god, I might have succeeded in a row. I got a 16.
Okay. With a 16, you don't actually fully recognize the herbs. However, in what village you would have come up in, you would recognize them as something that the priestesses would keep very dear and near to them. These were kind of in case of plague or desperate measure, these herbs can do many things.
I said they're medical.
Also with the 20, yes, you do know what an etin is.
Okay.
I say they're medical. I don't know if someone is still putting them up there or if they just come from here. I'm going to take one and come down. I'll be back.
Don't
And so
try not
I
to
grab-
get cursed.
I say, well, to be fair,
As you pluck one from the hand, roll me a dexterity saving throw as the effigy falls apart.
nice. That should be not a problem. Would you like me to use dexterity or acrobatics?
Dexterity saving throw.
And I'm like,
Unfortunate, but fair.
I'm like, oh, well played.
All right, so saving. So I actually have to roll the right thing. A 27. Will that do?
With the 27, you land superhero landing on the ground. However, as your hands hit the dirt, a callus on your hand breaks open, and it begins to sting horribly.
That seems fair. I said, well, I got this, and I hold up the leaf of the herb. I said, I think the statue was trying to preserve it. At least that's how I read it.
So
Iseult is looking very, very annoyed. She's like, well, I can see if I know what it is, or if you'll give me 10 minutes, I can cast Identify as a ritual.
Is the magic from the statue just gone?
Yes.
Cool.
Is the
Oh,
herb
so that-
in my hand magical by chance?
Yes.
Mm.
As you guys are having this conversation, you hear a... And I need dexterity saving throws with disadvantage from everyone.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, fun.
I like it when things pop like that.
Jeez. Maybe
Oh,
I shouldn't roll this dice tower. It's making my Avernus dice roll low.
I rolled
a whopping
a
4.
15.
12.
I got a
You know-
9.
These dice, they haven't played in a while, but maybe they still need a break. I'm going to put them over in my dice spa instead of my dice prison. Sometimes they just need a break.
Damn your
Yeah.
eyes, disadvantage. I rolled a 17 and a 10.
All right, did anybody beat a 23?
I know.
No! No, and I'm mad at you for asking.
I just wanted to check. We got some high dex fellas.
I think my first roll beat it, but you're mean.
This loud noise, you feel something heavy, like molasses, slamming into your back and covering the ground around you. And as you kind of open your eyes quickly to kind of draw it, try and understand what's going on, you find that you are covered and stuck to the ground by a strange, sweet-smelling pink substance.
Did Talisid escape the kitten? I'm going to presume the kitten escaped it and is just watching us all with disdain.
He hid into your cloak. Hold on, let's get Joseph's small child to roll here.
Yep.
Natural 20.
Oh, boy.
Disadvantage, though,
No, he's a
3.
child. He's a child.
He's a
Small enough to get out of the way.
The child with ADD, he saw it coming.
Yeah, right. I thought you guys knew. Like, I saw it. Why didn't you?
I just thought we were stuck to the ground by sap.
So yes, you find yourselves now somehow stuck to the ground of where you're at. And as you kind of look in the direction where this thing has come from, you see coming from the woods to the east are like medium creature-sized bubbles just wafting.
Ugh. Chewing gum. What the fuck?
How did that sneak up on us? I say.
They're very quiet.
Do we want to not get hit by more of them? Would that be the goal, folks?
Yes, I believe that they are hostile and they have declared their intentions.
I mean, sure. So I take my bow and I start shooting the bubbles because that seems wise at this point.
With an archer of your skill, you're able to just pop them right out of the air. And in fact, you have enough time to take your knives and swords and what have you to cut yourself free.
Let's do it then.
I beat myself free with my mace. Wait.
So one of my Pact to the Tome cantrip rituals is Primal Savagery, which is you get the talons or claws with the cantrip and do like 2d10 acid, basically. That damage. So I can like literally use my cast that cantrip and use my hands to
just kind of throw acid on it to get yourself free.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. It's simple enough for you guys to do, and shooting the arrows, you see that though you start to expend arrows, more of these bubbles seem to be drifting out of the forest.
I would like to hide and then sneak into the forest.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Okay, that is going to be a 21.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. With a 21, you're able to just kind of move out of the way of these constantly bobbing bubbles. And from broken house to broken business, you're able to begin to slide in and out of those shadows of the midday sun.
I look at the other two more learned folks and I say, I'll cover you while you get out of the way, and then let's go figure out what that is.
Yeah, let's destroy these things. Can I try cantrips to see if any cantrips work on these bubbles?
As long as the cantrip does not require it to be a creature, then yes.
This one does say descends on a creature, and this one says you point at a creature. I don't have any cantrip that can attack anything.
The bubbles themselves aren't particularly coming after you.
I am stealthing into the woods towards where the bubbles are coming from.
Then yeah, let's we will be moving less stealthily, or at least Johann would be moving less stealthily also in that direction.
So, Setet.
Yes.
As you have a good lead, and honestly, you moving in stealth is significantly faster than them moving at a regular pace. So you're going to get a good distance ahead of them.
Sure.
And as you're kind of bobbing and weaving through now, the size of these trees are basically you standing next to yourself, still with full cover. So moving between them is fairly easy. You see where the bubbles seem to just be kind of drifting in between. Some of them pop against trees, and you see some leaves above you, like branches are stuck together due to wind and storms, and this pink goo seems to hold them there. Go ahead and roll me a survival check.
Okay. Plus survival, which is wisdom, which is garbage. 12.
12? 12's good enough. You're simply following a trail backwards. And as you're kind of sneaking around, you can roll me... What is your passive perception first?
17.
Excellent. With a 17, you actually see what looks like small pink fairy dragons.
Oh.
They're standing in a cluster of trees around a very large cave. And what you can see is some of the dragons kind of fly down to lower branches and go, and as they exhale, a large pink bubble comes out, breaks from their lips, and lazily drifts in the direction you are coming from.
Oh. After watching them for a moment, just realizing, oh, they're just playing a cute little dragon game, I will step out from, whatever shadow I'm hiding in Draconic, because for some reason that's the other language I took. But in Draconic, I will say, hello there.
They all turn to you, and in one unified voice, they say, "We have been waiting for too long."
Well, your maid coming out here, it's a little tricky. What have you been waiting for?
You and your group.
Oh.
We have a captain of yours, a very tasty-looking bird.
Okay. Right.
And the fine vessel he flew in on.
Fairies playing fairy games, huh?
All right. I will, excuse me for a moment, and I'll shout over my shoulder. All right, things are weird.
Have we managed to free ourselves yet, or not quite?
Oh, you guys have been on the move.
Okay.
And I will,
How weird is weird?
fairy dragons have captured the captain.
Excellent. And she was well, actually no, with once more with sarcasm. Oh, excellent.
You said captured? They said they captured him? They're not just hanging out?
So how did you know we would be arriving?
Your captain told us that he was coming to you, and I had foreseen you coming to him. And I thought, it's easier to bring you to me than I to come to you.
Well,
So,
what can I do for you then, young master?
they all laugh, of a deep laugh at the word young, and says, "Enter the cave, and we will speak in person."
Hold on.
Why do I feel like this is a trap?
Are we
no.
there yet?
Proportions.
Are we there yet, or are we still approaching?
Yes, you all have arrived by now.
Oh, okay.
And I also speak Draconic, so I understood that.
And I also speak Draconic.
I was gonna say, what color are the fairy dragons?
They are pink.
Pink.
They are pink. Okay.
So I remark, why are you growling at each other? Because I do not speak Draconic.
Sorry, we're speaking Draconic.
Well, no, I get that, but why are you seem to be animatedly growling at each other, so I suspect there's more than, what are you talking about, I guess is what I'm really saying.
So, long story short, and actually, if you like, I can cast Comprehend Languages as a ritual for those of you who do not speak Draconic. Long story short, there's a slight problem in that our captain of the airship is held captive by these dragons, and they're not nearly as friendly as,
As they look.
They don't even look that friendly, to be fair.
They're pink fairies. Of course they look friendly.
I'm sorry, but perhaps we have different views on what does and doesn't look friendly. Pink has never, in my entire existence, been a friendly color.
At that thought, the fairy dragons in unison leap off their branches and fly into the cave.
Oh, well, that's good at least. They wanted us to go in there, right?
No, they did. And here's the thing about traps. If we know we're going into one, it tends to be less effective.
Well, I was more worried about them being behind us and shooting those annoying bubbles down the one way out of the cave. When they're inside, I say we just toss a bunch of fire in there and kill them all, but that's perhaps my pragmatic point of view coming out.
I think the important thing to understand is, are we caught up in some rash ferry game in order to get our ship and captain back, and we have to play this?
Almost certainly.
Of course. So, that's the entirety of the story that needs to be understood. We have to do whatever these things say and beat them at their game in order to get our ship and people back.
Once again, you guys are writing a much better narrative than I have. You guys are great fantasy writers. You guys are awesome fantasy writers. That is not what we're about to do.
I say
we're not about to go into the cave and get our captain back.
I mean, you're gonna do something like that, but there's very little fairy games going on. It's not that clever.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, in regards to fairy games, in general, fairies are evil motherfuckers.
They are not evil. They are chaotic.
Well, are you familiar with the Irish fairy lore?
Would you all like to go into the cave?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I love Irish fairy lore, but we'll come back around to it.
Yeah, Irish fairy. They are not pretty twinkly things with wings.
We can play Digressions and Dragons pretty much any night.
Dragons.
So as you all on your guard, perhaps weapons drawn, shields up, as you step in through the seemingly impenetrable darkness, there is a heavy feeling of, there's a heavy feeling of your stomach kind of rolling a little bit. Almost like you went up an unexpected hill and were thrown down it very quickly. But when you come in, you enter what looks like a massive cave. The top of it seemed to actually sparkle as if it were like a nice night sky full of stars. And the fungus around it emanates a nice blue warming color down. So visibility is very light, but it's doable. And as soon as you come in, you see sitting on a nice flat stone a young half-elven girl wearing all black and pink robes with pink scales going up her neck to her face and down her arms to her hands. And you would recognize the actual form of the Veiled Mistress.
Oh, fucking do it.
Bitch.
This day was coming.
As she turns to kind of acknowledge you, you see that her arms are crossed, her head is kind of pushed down, and she is absolutely pouting.
What shall we call you? If you're not
Besides a pain in the arse.
Now, let's not start off on the wrong foot if we can help it.
And she says, the Veiled Mistress will do fine.
You're not wearing a veil, though. But
and she pulls a veil out and puts it on her head.
Oh, well.
Pink dragon.
He says, yes, Pink Dragon. Yaasbitch.
Okay, one, and I, roll up my sleeve, also pink, so you know.
Wait, wasn't it pearlescent?
No, I've got
That's one part of the shoulder, yeah.
Yeah, on that one part of the shoulder, but I'm a fucking sphinx.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So I'm pretty pink.
Well, that's right. You have that scale from when you did that. Yes,
when the
that's
thing
right.
exploded.
I got the scar from the shard.
Yes, yes.
But like the rest of my body, aside from my tattoos, are very pink.
Gotcha. Okay.
2, last time, look, things got heated last time. What can we be doing for you?
Heated? She stole from us.
And she tried to murder me, so you know.
I'm not certain she actually stole from us.
I'm sorry.
She says, no, I didn't.
Just
no, she
sorry.
took the card of many things.
Which we had promised to her.
You tried to steal from me.
Yeah.
Well, out of character,
right.
didn't she?
Strikes
She
from
took the card
afar.
from the deck of many things.
No.
Who is this?
All right.
Really?
Strikes from
Just
afar.
for one moment. Who is this?
Strikes from afar, veiled mistress. Veiled mistress strikes from afar.
She sticks her tongue out at you.
I think
We've had previous dealings with her. We have current dealings with her.
All right.
Now
So
we're all on the same page.
The long story short on that. The long story short on that is we did a job. Part of that job was we were supposed to retrieve an item from a train for her. When we got it, we found out it was the last card from a deck of many things. And yes, we tried to steal it from her after delivering it. But the job was to deliver it to her.
And
Give
she
her the
said,
card and let's move on.
and she says, and you have no dealings with me. Just so we're clear, I know better than to hire you. It's Yaasbitch who you need to talk to.
Yaasbitch, you're kidding.
And a booming feminine voice comes out and says, am I a joke to you? And crawling up the wall is a long serpentine dragon figure with short butterfly wings held tight to the back. She crawls up the wall and then curls at an angle. The length of her neck and head is almost that of her body. It massively comes down, and when she breathes, tiny pink bubbles come out.
I love that her name is Yaasbitch. This is amazing. This is like every level of amazing.
Today has taken a turn.
And she says, I am the one who requires your help.
And our payment for services rendered is to be the return of the ship and the people aboard.
She looks down to the veiled mistress and says, you give them too little credit. Yes, indeed.
Right, Ben? What can we be doing for you?
Real quick, can I roll a history check to see if Iseult has ever heard of Yaasbitch?
Sure.
I feel like someone with a name of that spectacular that I am 10,000% going to say as many times as I possibly can. History. That's going to be a 13.
With a 13, the name doesn't ring completely true to you. However, you do know that there are far off, there are very distant cultures that have kind of a different understanding of dragons. And there is a culture that believes that there were actually immortal dragons that no gods could give. They were not gods, but they simply were known to be immortal.
Gotcha.
And some of them just disappeared. Some of them were banished by great wizards. And some of them were even said to have been killed by a great king using lightning. And my shit that won't stop dinging. Be gone!
Big.
But yes, there are legends of unkillable ancient dragons that were around before the world was formed completely.
Gotcha.
And she says, yes, my pupil here was kind enough to charter your ship and have them bring her here where they were so easily fooled into landing, where she was then able to kidnap them and through my extraordinary magics, able to bring this ship into my... she kind of looks around and her head does like an unnatural rotation. My personal domain.
Excellent. Well, now that the how is cleared up, would you mind moving to the why? What is it you would have us do?
I simply need you to assist the veiled mistress. She stands up with a very childish growl and a foot stomp.
The Veiled Mistress does?
Yes.
And so which I say, if I may, what is the Veiled Mistress to you that you wish to help her, and yet she does not seem to be your biggest fan, per se?
She is my pupil. What more is there to ask?
Pupil. Ah, no, well, that explains everything right off the bat.
And I have a mission that I need her to complete. And I don't, unfortunately, have the most confidence in her, as she has always had her own machinations and plans going. I thought she could use a little additional watch, as I currently require her servant for my own needs.
You're almost certainly not wrong.
And what, pray tell, is this task that you have assigned to her?
She is to go to a 13-year-old boy's birthday party.
Okay. At this point, Setet sits down. I'm going to need you to say that one more time, please.
There is a 13-year-old boy named Addy Bismuth. And he stands to inherit quite a fortune in both his family's business and in gold and treasure. Now, he is a target of many, as he is an orphan, and he stands to only at midnight turn age 13, where he is able to access that, and in fact be the primary holder of the shares of his family's business, and it is his to do with what he wishes. Burn it to the ground, run it himself, it doesn't matter. But what matters is that he lives through the night. And that is why I need the Veiled Mistress to go in her natural age to protect him.
Okay.
And she will need to go under the guise of royalty or of lordship, which requires her to have a knight and a squire of appropriate age, respectively. She may bring what servants she requires, but they must be there in attendance.
Okay.
So this is in order to get in the boy's ear so that you may have some say in his own leanings, if I'm understanding this correctly. Simply to know where you stand on the board, not necessarily to manipulate the game, as it were, but to know where it is you stand.
You may make your assumptions, and you may pretend to know the dealings of dragons.
I would never presume to understand the true and full workings of all the dealings of dragons. But knowledge is my passion and my pursuit, so even a simple semblance of understandings of the surface workings is a delight to behold, to be sure.
With
it
a
is the
nod,
game I'm familiar with and am learning to play.
Then play well at this party, for his life is in great danger. And be sure the mistress does her work, and be sure you do your own. Because if she fails, you fail. And if you fail, then I will have a fine lunch unlike that I have had in many, many centuries, and a fine trinket to add to my collection.
Do you know who it is in particular that seeks to harm this person?
I have only foreseen the split of fate that is his perishing and his survival. And it is in my best interest that he survive.
Understood.
And where, pray tell, is this birthday party?
Not too far from here, but a few hours drive on horses, you will find a small house, a summer home overlooking a beautiful glade. There is the party.
will we find horses to drive?
You will indeed.
And you had mentioned earlier that she would need an entourage of appropriate age. Does that mean that we are not in our current state?
She smiles and brings the massive head down to Joseph Smallchild and says, "Wouldn't you like to be a squire, boy?" And he falls down.
I rush to him.
Oh, I know exactly. I think I know what's happening. I don't want to get... Well, I don't know.
There's kind of a smirk and says, "A noble's daughter, a squire. All you need now is a knight. The choice is yours. But be gone soon. The party starts at 4. And midnight comes quick."
There's one further thing I wish to understand. We are to keep the Veiled Mistress on task. Are we protected by any caveat of this agreement from her retaliation, since we may, in fact, have to step in and prevent her from doing a thing she wishes?
She lets out a great thunderous burst of magic, and she says, "I don't need babysitters. I can keep a stupid baby alive until midnight. I can do it just fine. I don't need your help. I don't need your help." And he looks at the dragon and says, "Ugh." Kicks up as hard as she can.
To which, and then Iseult says, "Child, I say this with as much kindness as possible. As one of a triplet with 2 older brothers, believe me, just when you think you have a child under control is the exact moment they rip the rug out from under you. I have 2 brothers exactly my age. I know exactly how they work. And trust me, the moment you think you have control is the moment it all goes to shit."
She looks to you with a deviant smile and says, "Then you better be on your toes."
That is actually what I'm referring to. I think preventing the small child from being killed by any number of aggressors who want his fortune is one thing. But we have to work with you to protect our people. And I don't trust you.
You are working with me to protect your people. You're keeping your people from being eaten. And I am promising not to eat them, so long as you succeed.
Exactly. My concern is the Veiled Mistress.
I know.
Okay.
And that is what I offer you.
Very well. We will do what needs to be done.
Right.
Anyone else?
So, a point I'd like to make. You all are nice. Don't get me wrong. I don't know your captain or your airship. I look straight at the Elder Dragon and I say, "This is an interesting proposition, and I can probably help. What's in it for me?"
She smiles in rows of teeth and says, "You can help or be an appetizer, your choice."
Reasonable counteroffer. Fair enough.
There is a law that we have come to acknowledge in Dragonkind. It is the law of ownership. And the law states as thus: I am bigger than you.
She's not wrong.
I mean, I suppose, but fair enough.
Fine then. Johann, I think you might be the best bet for the knight position. What with
Dear
the
God.
armor?
Very well. What does that require of me beyond nightly duties? I say to the dragon.
She scoffs and says, "What trivial civilization you have all birthed in my absence is of no matter to me.
Okay.
Perhaps you throw your dung at each other. Perhaps you kiss each other passionately upon arrival. It does not matter anything to me. Simply act as you see fit.
I was simply making sure I didn't need to have my age change.
Probably just you with less talking. That would be my bet.
I have any number of spells with which to kill you.
When we leave the big dragon room, I am gonna kick your ass. You see that coming out from around a corner is you see that there's kind of a relatively tall, very tall, kind of elven figure with kind of a pale blue skin and white hair comes out. You recognize this person as kind of just like the keeper, someone who stood by the veiled mistress during your planning stage.
Right.
He comes over in fine robes, and he is pulling a carriage with 4 horses. And he drops it off, and he says, "Mistress, is there anything else you need?" And she says, "Yes, kill them." And then he says, "I'm sorry, mistress, but I cannot." And she kind of huffs, and he picks her up and puts her in the carriage.
We had best be off.
Yes.
And he does hold the door open for anyone who wants to get in the carriage.
I'll get in.
Why not?
How is the boy looking? Young Master Small Child.
Master Small Child. His eyes are wide, and his pupils are small.
But has he like aged up or something?
Oh, his hair is kind of gray now. She might have scared him gray.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's not
Happens.
good.
We're not being made to leave him here, right? He is going to be the squire, as it were.
Yeah.
Okay. I assume that this is like a stagecoach kind of carriage where the person driving is up top. Shall I go there?
Seems to make sense.
Okay.
You could probably ride one of these horses and look majestic, as you're pretty good at.
The horses are for pulling the carriage. They're all harnessed up.
Right. Sorry.
Fine.
I look at Setet. I said, kind of quietly, "Did you know that this is what you guys were messing with?"
Not a fucking clue. How could we?
Outside.
No clue whatsoever.
So we ride and talk?
That's the plan.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as we break the line of the cave,
Yeah.
I will turn to the veiled mistress. So, what's our story?
With her arms folded, she says, "I don't know. I'm a princess, and you're..."
No. You were damned ready to just throw us off the road here and have yourself do it yourself. So, let's hear what your plan was.
My plan was to go in there and then tell them I'm the veiled mistress and they have to let me in. And if they didn't, I was going to cast charm spell on them until they did.
Oh, honey.
Oh, that does not work, Oh, no.
Oh, honey.
They own that charm spell. Here's a nasty thing about charm spells that I've seen a lot of people learn the hard way. When they stop working, people know.
Well,
people know immediately.
I only needed to get close enough to banish the kid to another dimension till midnight.
I mean,
to be fair, that part
is,
of the
a
plan is good.
Honestly, that's a really good like tier 3 things are breaking bad plan.
I mean,
but typically you want a lighter touch, especially okay, better question to start with. What is your master teaching you to do?
I have no master. I am the mistress.
Fine. What is
Ask her if she's a sorceress. Shout from the top of the cabin.
Are you a sorceress?
She says, "Are you a house cat?"
Really?
Oh!
Man.
Vicious.
He's been knocked speechless.
Setet just takes that moment, rolls up the sleeve so it's, cat's out, leans forward. Look, I'm going to be very abundantly honest with you about something. We are not that attached to anything in that cave. We don't care much for the captain. The ship would be nice to have back. But honestly, the past 3 days have gone in such a way that a clean break wouldn't be terrible for any of us, I don't think. So let me make this abundantly clear. You need us so much more than we need you, because you have a reputation that can go right down the shitter. Ours really can be rewritten in just a moment, and I think most of us would be quite fine with that.
Ours is already in the shitter.
That's a fucking threat. I'm not going to
intimidate. I was about to ask to roll intimidation. I was letting the Alan Rickman pregnant pause. Can I get intimidation?
Take it with advantage.
I was going to say, boy.
12.
There we go. That's the numbers I'm looking for. That's going to be an 18.
Okay. As that kind of quiet moment goes by, you're locked in a staring contest. And with a small grind of teeth and a wince, she leans back. And folds, and the pouting resumes, but there is you can smell that there is a chip in that wall.
Mm-hmm.
That there is that it's she kind of just back and she says, it's called a patron.
Okay. Now I understand. I lean out and just up to Johann. Warlock.
Ha! I would not have guessed that.
Oh wait, this little girl is a warlock?
It's not that. It's like that, but it's not that.
I mean, it sounds like that.
It does sound like that.
It's not.
But why all the dragon scales? Don't they itch?
So when they first came in, yeah, but I mean, not now.
Huh.
I think she's a sorceress. I think the big dragon's a grandma or something.
Maybe.
No, I was given the power.
Oh.
By?
The dragon. By Yaasbitch.
Oh, okay. That makes her your patron.
Right, that's what I just said, yes. Yaasbitch
so you're a warlock.
I'm not a warlock.
No, honey.
Sweetheart. How about this? We can argue semantics all the way back. But right now, let's figure out what the hell our plan is so we don't cause a panic at a fucking birthday party.
Look, my plan was just to charm everyone and then banish the kid.
I think it's a good plan.
She raises a hand to the window where Johann is and says, if you have a better plan, I'd like to hear it.
I said it's a good one!
I look at history and I
she raised her hand and see.
Oh, okay.
Not a bad plan.
There's no way
it's
this
not a good plan either.
But here's the thing, that is a lot of people to charm. It sounds like this kid is well-loved and well-liked. I'm expecting anywhere from 30 to 50 people here. And the last thing you want to do, especially... Okay, here's a big question that maybe... I don't know if you've considered. What's your 5-year plan? What are you planning on doing as the Veiled Mistress?
And she says, easy. 13, have all of the money in the world. 14, okay. Rule an army. 15, rule a whole separate army. Make those armies fight, take the better army. And then 16, rule the world. Something in there.
17 profit.
Has never so hard in her life.
Wait, she's
and
a
that's
kid?
saying something.
Apparently.
Yeah, she's 12.
Okay.
I don't think Iseult has ever honeyed so hard in her life.
I look right straight across to Chesgary. You understand that this is going to end in blood no matter what. So we should probably just plan for blood.
She shrugs.
Look, she has no problem with blood. We are aware of this.
I tried to kill him. She
I
pointed.
remember.
Yeah.
Just saying, if the kid has assassins coming to him, the plan of yeeting him out of there into a pocket space of some sort is a really good plan.
You know what else is a good plan? Keeping him around so he can see us saving him.
That's fair.
Especially for somebody who wants to have all the money in the world somewhere within the next 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
This one here?
I find myself rather concerned at the prospect that a 13-year-old has command of the spell Sequester.
Well, is it sequester or banish? Because that's the thing.
Banishment only lasts a minute.
Banishment only lasts an hour.
She says, we need to figure out how we're getting into the park.
Changing the subject.
So, getting in, I think that is probably going to be the easy part. We've been... I will look over to the law firm of Frost and Stormwind.
Stormwind Frost.
So which one of you two was the legal document crafter?
I think I would call it a joint merger. Well, no, Johann did most of the sweet talking. I think I did most of the writing. Johann, back me up if I'm incorrect.
I would say that our relationship as co-workers in the firm is I am good cop and you are bad cop. In this case, bad cop is the keeper of all of the legalese.
Which is really ironic, considering who's patron, like, yeah.
So real quick,
it's very ironic because I'm actually the good cop at a law firm right now.
Oh my god!
Oh shit!
Yeah,
so
no, I do legal sales.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, new job started like mid quarantine. I came on as a marketer, but my boss gets very uncomfy doing sales. So sometimes, depending on what the situation is, he'll throw it to me to talk to people.
Mm.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so what we're going to do.
So real quick, I'm gonna run and grab and refill my drink.
Yes.
But real quick, so what you need is a way to get in, and just kind of like an alternate identity. You need like false paperwork, and then how you're going to present yourselves, your squire, knight, and royal daughter.
Right.
So we're gonna need some fun forgery.
So I'm thinking.
I will be right back. Go ahead and get through
Absolutely. So I'm thinking we just forge papers to make her look like a child in a similar situation from like Waterdeep or another nearby city. I'm not exactly sure where the hell we are right now, but we make her look like she's a local to a nearby city who has some sort of noble bearing, but also no parents. Kind of
arranged marriage.
Possibly. I mean, I think that is definitely the subtext that we aim for the lie to be.
Yeah. And
but on the surface, it is a similarly aged child here for a birthday party, which is reasonable enough.
Right. So similarly aged child here for a birthday party, in a similar situation, maybe they can relate to each other and connect or yada yada yada.
For sure.
That's that being the surface argument, and then the what I'm looking for, and then the obviously the underlying thing being that hey, we're her legal guardian, and we then as such
as representatives of Stormwind and Frost law firm, we are looking to create an equitable situation for both. We're looking for the best interests in the children.
Correct.
This allows.
We're looking for the best interest in the children, but if we get something out of it.
Exactly.
May I ask a quick question?
Of course.
I mean, she does socialite brat fairly well. Couldn't she
Certainly.
just stomp her foot until she gets into the party and show up all lavish and nutty?
I mean, that is certainly plan B. Even an orphan child without much money is still going to be raised in a relative lap of luxury.
I mean, I think you could pull off pretentious princess well, don't you, Sparkles?
She is gonna kick your ass when she comes back.
I mean, I guess, right?
I mean, she was kind of already cowed by Setet.
Yeah, he did a great job, by the way. That was
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
pretty scary. I thought the house cat call was bold of the DM. That was nice.
No, for sure,
That
for sure.
was excellent. Take some inspiration for that shit. That was
Thank you.
goddamn solid. That was a hell of a monologue.
I have missed playing talkie characters.
Right.
I've been in the GM seat for Jesus, like 6 months for D&D. I have not actually played a character since the last time we played.
Ooh.
I am running Rime of the Frost Maiden
Nice.
for my brother and a couple of friends. It's getting fucking buck wild. It's also the first time I've run out of a book before, so that's weird.
Yes, it can be.
And I'm running my D&D podcast game, and that is it.
I basically have one game I do every other Sunday, and that's it.
Yeah, no, the podcast game is once a month I do, and Rime of the Frost Maiden is Mondays when everybody can get together, which is usually.
Right. So, what's the plan?
So basically, she's going to be presented as small orphan child.
Small orphan child with a similarly sized inheritance that she will soon be privy to.
Yeah. And so the ostensible one would be let the small children talk, whereas the very heavily hinted reason would be, look, there's two children. If they like each other, whether they like each other or not, we can absolutely marry them off to each other in the future. And then, considering that we're her legal guardians, that means we get something out of it too, sort of thing. But we absolutely have the child's best interests at heart. Yada yada yada.
She's actually really behind that plan.
Nice.
Okay, good.
She's like, it's manipulative. It kind of reveals how terrible you all are to want to do that. Just we're the personal guardians of a child, and we don't actually love them. And I think that's largely society. So I really like this plan.
Honey, that's I don't think I've
she's
ever honeyed so hard in my entire life.
She's not wrong.
No, but I wouldn't exactly call it right either.
There's a reason there's a reason I turned out the way I did.
You sure you don't just want to go with the socialite visiting plan? You positive?
No.
All right, let's roll with it.
She goes, I'll be Eleanor, by the way.
Eleanor.
Is that your real name?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you really sure?
She narrows her eyes and goes, no.
That's what I thought.
Right. Also, everybody else needs their cover story as well. Why are we all here?
Well,
We've got
Johann and I are here as the legal representatives of Stormwind and Frost. I don't know about the rest of you.
I was told I was to be a knight, and I am on legal retainer to this family.
Yes, we've got the knight and the squire. I will be we'll go ahead and call it the paralegal.
I mean, I guess we're paralegal as long as we don't actually have a law degree. Do we have a law degree? If you have a law degree, you're not a paralegal, you're legal.
I don't know how many degrees. Well, I don't know that Iseult has a law degree, but she'd probably get away with pretending she does.
I mean,
if you got a forging kit, you could have any degree you want.
I don't have one yet, but
Next on the list.
I have my scholars. But yeah, right.
So
Next place we stop.
This house is in this giant elven forest. Is that correct?
It's actually going to be outside of it, like in a clearing. It's going to take a couple hours to get there, but like it's kind of on the border of this massive, wood.
Which actually reminds me, where the hell are we?
You are somewhere kind of in the middle of. I don't have the map up in front of me, but you're kind of in between. Like you're above Elturel.
Okay.
You're in kind of that wooded area above Elturel. This is technically out of Elturgard. It's like just on that line. And Eltungard is kind of a dick about, we just protect our land. If you wanted us to protect you, you would have been part of the kingdom.
Sure.
Ouch.
They're like that. Like if the world were to burn, Eltungard would stand.
That
So
sounds
long as,
about right.
so long as the Hell Riders were there.
So I guess I'll be the help, and I'll drive the carriage.
Okay. So we have two lawyers who are the technical guardians, which is going to be Bop and Bop, and then we have the help, who is just kind of general waiting staff. And Chase, what are you?
I will be additional help / mercenary hired help.
Oh, you could be her. So royalty. The girl, not only would she have personal guards, but she would have like a personal assistant or just like a minder or a handler.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Yeah.
Orphan or royalty? I forget. Or both, I guess.
You guys had it as she wasn't royalty. She just has a very wealthy family who have just recently been orphaned.
But she would probably have, or even just like the family butler, servant, what's his name equivalent? Bruce Wayne's dude.
Alfred.
Thank you, Alfred equivalent.
Mentor, father figure.
Yes, that one.
The one who cares about her in the
the one who cares about her in this whole debacle.
Yeah.
We're coming from Waterdeep. Is that accurate?
Absolutely.
All right, then guards. Yeah, Ches, you and I will be guards.
We're just guards.
Guards and driving the
guards.
Yeah, right. It's fine.
Guards. So as the carriage ride continues through, you kind of devise the plan, and you eventually come out of the woods, and you see that there's a massive, huge property, and there is built almost like a small castle with great stone walls that surround it. And you see that across from the small kind of cobblestone way that was, paved up to it on both sides, leading both east and west. You see there's just like a parking lot of like horses and carriages. In that parking lot, you see that there's the drivers, the teamsters. They're just kind of out there making a camp for themselves. Mm-hmm. And you see that there are actually people who are dressed in finery going up to the great iron gates where they are presumably met by house guards and are either let in or turned away. So if you would like to park, it's easy enough to do, and you can either speak with the Teamsters or head into the party.
Teamsters, I suppose, for me.
Mm-hmm. I will stick close to... Okay, there we are. I will stick close to our charge for the time being.
Just so you know, if you don't go in together, you might not be able to get in separately.
Well, then I'm happy to stick with. I'm just worried about the cover story. But yes, I totally do that.
So, I mean, if you guys want to stop and talk to the Teamsters for a little bit, you can. But I'm just saying, if you separate here, you might have to, like, scale the walls or do some shenanigans to get in.
Gotcha.
What shenanigans?
And I just don't want to leave you out of the story if the rolls go bad.
I'm happy to come along and see if we get in. That is perfectly fine. I thought you were setting us up to have to come in separately. I have no real preference. So
No, I'm just letting you guys know. So what do you guys want to do?
Yeah, I guess we'll park the car, and I will Setet will step out wearing his having done what he can to kind of press out his clothes, and will open the door and very officially kind of straighten the jacket and fold out the stairs and put out a hand all prim and proper for whoever inside the carriage will take it so he can help them down.
You know what would be really useful right here?
Who's that?
The Hat of Disguise.
Oh yeah, it'd be great.
The
Yeah,
one that Roger has?
the one that Roger has.
Yeah. I have that?
What's that?
I thought I had that.
I actually I don't know. I think
I do. Yeah, no, I have it. It's on my sheet. Yeah, I've got the Hat of Disguise.
Oh,
okay.
I'm a bully.
Because I know it was something he was like, either I'll wear the Hat of Disguise, and he took off his clothes and then made the exact same clothes he took off reappear.
That might have
Because
been
he only wears a shirt. That's all he wears.
Yeah, no, he Winnie the Pooh's that shit.
Yeah, he's Donald Duck in it.
Yeah, I will don the Hat of Disguise and just make myself look like I'm wearing a very nice suit, which, I mean, Setet typically wears a suit anyways, or something very suit-like, but this, makes it look proper rather than a ratty crime suit.
You're wearing the John Wick suit now, the one where it's bulletproof for some fucking reason.
Yeah, exactly.
He holds it up in front of his face like it'll stop a bullet.
But it also the sleeves are longer and tighter, so it hides the tattoos better.
Okay.
And will help people down.
Okay. The Veiled Mistress, who is now going by Eleanor, does come down. She takes your hand.
Mm-hmm.
She does not thank you, but she does take your hand to step down. She has used the disguise self to make it appear as if she's wearing something far more formal, kind of more tight fitting as an adult would wear.
Mm-hmm.
But something to that effect.
Okay.
And she is just kind of waiting for what you guys are going to do.
Okay. I help her down. I help everybody else out.
Stay close, Mistress Eleanor. There are a lot of people at this party.
She huffs and starts making her way towards the gate.
Setet will immediately begin assessing pretty much everybody we go by, just to kind of continuously keep an appraisal of the room.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Excellent.
I think we need Joseph.
He's the squire. He's with you.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, okay, that's a good point.
That's a natural 20.
Fuck, all right. With the natural 20 plus your 17 passive perception, as you kind of look around, you see a massive train of carts.
Mm-hmm.
The carts are currently empty. And you see next to those carts a small, pole held up by a pole, circus tent.
Mm-hmm.
With some of the most frightening clowns you have ever seen. And it's not that they're dressed frightening, it's just they're giving off really bad vibes.
Ah, shit.
The clowns? Send in the clowns? I hate clowns.
As I walk, I use my sight detect magic on the clowns and the tent.
Neither are magical.
Okay. I will nudge the crew all in turn. Hey, check out those shitty clowns.
Oh, those don't look terrifying or
Well,
anything.
that does look awful.
As the two of you look, a very large clown raises his hands up. Like, this is like a half orc, half Goliath, and you see that his knuckles say laugh or die.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
LAFF, and then his thumb says O, and then the other one R, and then it's DIE, but he's missing a pinky finger.
Oh, no.
This is awful.
Say,
What
to be fair, if it's the clowns, we'll probably see them coming.
What sort of nightmare? is
What's sneaking up behind me?
Yeah, like the squeaky shoes is very hard to kind of put down.
I'm thinking that probably our first order of business will be to, insert ourselves as having the common interest of wanting to ensure the safety of our charges as the people running this shindig, as it were, so that we can be excused for not letting people nearby.
I can be looming and threatening. Let's make it happen.
So as you come to approach the gate, the line has kind of shortened in front of you. And as you approach, you see that there are two guards wearing plate mail. It's extremely decorative. And when you come up, they both have spears, and they put them in a cross across the door. The Veiled Mistress walks directly beneath them.
Mistress?
And starts moving her way in, and both guards turn their heads quickly, very angry, looking at the group of you.
Like, pardon the
I'm
hell out of me?
I'm gonna grab her.
Okay, you can make a dex check, but she's just going.
Like under her arms, just like.
Johann, give me that dex. Give me. Actually, no, give me an athletics check. This will be a grapple.
Okay, with athletics, that gives me a 17.
I got an 11. You're able to just kind of pick her up, and you can almost feel her scales bristle.
Yeah, I'm gonna step back from the guard and say, presenting Mistress Eleanor of Waterdeep.
And Iseult gently says, now, you know we've talked. Now, remember, we talked about this. You do have to actually... sorry, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. It's like, now remember, we talked about this. If you're going to inherit a title one day, you have to remember that you have to remember the rules. We want to make sure you give the best impression possible for the people you will be dealing with. I know it's tedious, but trust me, when you have... But you'll... you know what I'm saying.
I'm gonna set her down and say, now.
She like talks with her teeth clenched. Yes, ma'am. Like just that sound of teeth rubbing on teeth.
Show them the curtsy that we've been working on.
I roll my
to
eyes.
make her want to murder you?
The brief sound of her nails tearing through fabric. She does a curtsy. And she does pretty well at it. Let's see. That's a 13 plus. This is a performance if I've ever seen one. Let's get her sheet here. 17 plus 4.
Nice. Now then, I say to the guards, given that we'll be representing the Lestrade family from Waterdeep, would we be able to be pointed toward the hosts of this party?
And they say, "Of course. Do you have your parchment of invitation?"
Iseult, I think, will have at least attempted to make... Oh, can I do that without a forgery kit?
I don't think so.
Does anyone have a forgery? Well,
Setet,
actually,
right?
Setet. Yeah, Setet, you have a forgery kit. Are you
I think we
proficient
talked
with it
about
as well?
that on the ride in.
Okay, yeah. That's right.
I have a burglar's pack.
That contain a forgery kit.
It does not.
Fuck.
Wait, did we not talk?
I mean, we had talked about it. I had assumed that you guys had one because you had
I
done.
thought you had one.
I had
I have a
done.
scholar's pack. Oh
You're
wait,
the
this
ones
might.
who had done forging in the recent history.
I mean, yes.
Can we use our legal expertise to
With my scholar's pack, I could probably write one up, and then like, do I have minor illusion? Does somebody have minor?
Now, again, as the good captain, his name I forget, said, some things are just as easy as they sound.
Oh wait, so I've got. And Iseult said,
Does the little girl
Iseult
have
turns to Setet and says, "You said you had it, didn't you?" Oh no! Wait.
Madam
Okay,
Eleanor,
do we want to play the?
Do you have your invitation?
She pulls the invitation from her sleeve and holds it up.
I take it from her.
And she has a cheeky look on her face.
Thank you, my dear. And I will hand it to the guard.
The guard takes it, opens it, nods to their guard, and they pull their halberds, apart, and you're welcomed in.
Excellent. Right. As we head on in, I will look to the guards and just kind of sigh and look back, look at them. And it's like, all right, so what should I be expecting in here?
The guard says, as you are not a child, I should think you'd have a relatively boring time, but the wine flows freely.
Really, that's all I need.
He smiles and says, then you should have a fine time.
Excellent. Also, what's with those fucking clowns out there?
The other guard goes, right?
Hey, yeah, just in general, I've seen some shit. Those guys give me a bad vibe. Keep an eye out, all right?
They nod.
I pat them both on the shoulder as I walk in.
All right, so I dropped a map in chat. The ground floor. In the ground floor, you guys will be coming in where it says G1.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
As you walk in, you see that the courtyard, which is G1 to G2, is absolutely filled. You see that there are children and young teens running around. There are streamers. Pardon me. There are streamers. There's fine decorations from tree to roof, across the bushes, along the guard walls. You see that there are tents and games. You see further towards the back, which would be the south, you see what looks like a large topiary garden. You see that there is further back towards the east, towards the wall, there appears to be some sort of exotic petting zoo. And you see that all of the doors and windows are open, and you hear the gentle sound of music playing from inside of the house.
Okay.
And as you walk in, Eleanor looks around and says, okay, we know there's assassins here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Say yes.
So you find the assassins, and I'll find the baby boy, and I'll keep him protected.
He's older than you.
She kind of does that kind of thing.
There's no it's just true. And he's going to point that out at some point.
I'm guessing that the boy doesn't have the magic that the mistress has.
No, but there's nothing in the world that would stop a 13-year-old boy from pointing out an area where he may have an upper hand. They're insufferable. We know this. Most of us were one.
All right.
You hear
Point is, when he says something snotty to you, don't blast him.
You hear a voice say 13, not until midnight. And And as you turn around, you see the birthday boy, and he is dressed in fine light blues and pinks. He's got like the big puffed pants. He looks like the comical bard. He's got like a gold laced vest and a big hat with a large feather coming off of the top.
I'm getting big berries and cream energy off of this
He says, "Do you want to hear my dance?" He comes up and you see that he's kind of surrounded by other teens his age. Some older, a little bit younger, but it looks like a roving pack of Zoomers, teenagers. And they all have fidget spinners. No.
To be fair, teenagers do tend to travel in packs.
And they all seem to be like holding small goblets of what you can presume to be either mead, wine, or water. Depends on what you think.
Drunk teens.
Basically. And he says, "And who is it you have brought to my fair home?" And the veiled mistress turns around and goes, "Oh my god, this is your home? It's beautiful!"
Oh god.
And Iseult looks at Johann. Iseult looks at Johann and mutters under her breath in Infernal because she knows the two of them speak it. "I'm almost impressed, but in like the worst way."
At this point, I will nod to the young master. "May I present Lady Eleanor Strahd?"
She gives a bow, and he takes her hand and gently kisses it, and takes a moment to admire the pink scales on it. And he says, kind of like that, looking up from Seth, says, "Only my summer home." And she goes,
Oh, no.
And she looks back and she says, "I'll see you guys around," and kind of loops her arm in his.
Oh, goodness.
Good,
and
good.
Iseult's mouth is hanging open like, well, I'll be damned. She actually pulled it off.
She started to. Let's not jinx it.
That's fair, but that might
All right.
count.
There's a missing link in all.
Which is?
Boy doesn't have parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's to inherit the fortune they built up before they were lost.
Mm-hmm.
Who are his guardians who would be in control of an event like this? Who's in control of the money until midnight?
That is an excellent question, because for all we know, they might want to keep it.
We know that apparently, if all the estate is lost, the money is controlled elsewise.
Right. So let's take a look around then.
I guess it's our turn to be socialites.
Probably stick near the girl.
Either that or I can.
Where's Joe?
Joseph is standing right next to you, and he actually looks kind of upset at what he just seen.
I will kneel down.
I mean, I don't blame him.
And he's just kind of looking, and he goes, "Do you think I could take him in a fight?"
Oh,
I'd love to see you try.
And Iseult leans down. She says, "Look, ask me later. I will teach you every dirty trick my brothers ever taught me. I have 4 of them. I know lots."
And here's the thing: with what little training I have been able to give you thus far, almost certainly, but it is our job specifically to make sure he is unharmed as it is. And to be frank, and I will lean in very close, you could do better.
He just kind of nods, goes, "All right, okay, yeah, let's do the mission."
All right. You should probably stick next to Mr. Johann for right now, or Sir Johann, as it is.
Aha, I've been knighted.
So, where do you guys want to go on this map?
Where did the kids go, out of curiosity?
The kids are heading towards G2.
All right. So one of us ought to stick with them, just in case. That would probably make sense.
Actually, you know what? That is my mistake. They are not going towards G2. They're kind of huddled up right now. And what I would like was be for one person to roll me a D12.
Yeah. It came up a 10.
10? Okay. As you're kind of standing there watching, they just seem to be meandering around in the circle. They kind of go to sit under a tree. Some butterflies sit and land on them, and they're all just kind of talking. They don't seem to be doing much.
Okay, well, I've just had a thought that's going to make things a bit easier on us. I need to find a way to cast a spell on them without anyone noticing.
What spell?
Death Ward.
No.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think so. Let's see here. I believe Death Ward just has verbal and somatic components, no material, but that does mean close and a thing that's very obviously.
You could always say that you're casting a birthday blessing on the boy.
People do like blessing.
Always.
Paladin that you are.
Do you have message?
Message. Care.
I'm checking right now. I have magic mouth.
Gotcha. Alright, never mind then. I was gonna say we could get a hold of the girl, but it's fine. Yeah, birthday blessing, that's a decent enough cover.
I like it.
Would you like to go over and try and perform it?
Yeah, I mean, I need to stick by her anyway as her knight, and I would not mind having a shadow of strikes from afar, just in case any backup is needed. Plus, she's going to be more perceptive than me.
Happy to do that, though. I remain fairly quiet. However, what I'm really looking for is not really him, it's who reacts to him that isn't the kid.
Good call.
Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind as we go. So where we're at now, Johann, you and Strikes from Afar are going to go over to the crowd of giggling teenagers, and that is going to leave Iseult and Setet to go do something else. But before I get to the two of you, what I need is for... I need Johann to go face the true version of hell itself. A cackling a cackling group of semi-drunk teenagers.
Oh no!
That is truly the definition of hell.
The wine is flowing too freely. All right.
And it turns out he dies of alcohol poisoning.
What am I to do with the true face of hell?
You've just got to somehow convince him, A,
okay,
I'm going to put birthday magic on you, and B, do it.
Sure.
I mean, you could always lie and tell him that it'll help him get girls.
Sure. I am going to reapproach the group. I'm going to settle my way up. I've got Joseph with me. And eventually I'm going to push him toward the crowd. I'm going to say, Mistress, you forgot your squire. He shouldn't be left out of the birthday fun. Although, speaking of birthday fun, I have been asked, and with your permission, there is a blessing, right, as I have been, inducted into the church, that I could perform for the young master whose birthday it is. I'm told that it will bring, well, I can tell you it will bring good luck and fortune on this most auspicious days, and it is supposedly very attractive to the fair sex.
She says, why, that's why I left the squire, was so we could have fun. And the crowd is like, ooh. And he's just like head down.
Well, isn't that cheeky?
And then the young Addie stands up and says, a birthday blessing. And he says, that sounds just fine. And he kind of holds up his goblet and says, I might want to start my 13th year off as best as I can. And as he stands up, she stands up too and goes, oh my God, what church?
Oh, the Church of Lord of Luck. And this boy is very lucky.
So you can roll a persuasion or a deception.
Ooh. I think
That
I'm pretty good at both of
deceptive.
those. That is a 19 on persuasion.
Oof.
Okay. The young kids murmur, "Oh, the Church of Luck, ooh," and some jokes about Lucky is getting kind of laughed.
Yeah.
And laughed.
I left that very open on purpose. They're teenagers.
He then turns to the veiled mistress and puts like 2 goblets in her hands, and kind of stands up, and again, daggers are being stared at you. He walks over and he says, "Good night. If it is by your god or goddess's willingness that I be deemed lucky, then I would be happy to take such."
Very good.
And he will do like a big bow in front of you, like moves his hat like a big showy bow.
I will to go with the performance he's doing. I'm gonna take my mace and hold it just so that the haft is out rather than the end. So I'm basically gripping it down by the head, and I'm gonna like dub him on either shoulder as my somatic component, and then I'm going to whisper out my verbal component.
So as you perform the spell, there's a visible look in which his shadow actually shifts a little bit. And the crowd's like, "Oh."
And with that, I have conferred the luck of our Lord upon you. On this most gracious of days, I do wish you most fun and enjoyment you have ever had.
And a nice clapping comes from the group.
When he did that, did I notice anybody taking special interest or anything like that?
Roll an insight or a persuasion. Help me, guys.
Perception.
Perception. Thank you.
Can
Perception.
Iseult roll as well, or would I have had to dictate earlier that I was
The 2 of you are kind of moving into another direction.
So I'm just going to take my passive, which is a 20.
Okay. No, you don't see anything.
Fair enough.
But just real quick. So Squire Smallchild strikes from afar, and Johann, this is kind of what you're doing. In the meantime, Setet and Iseult, what would you like to be doing?
I'll look to her. So I think what we need to be doing is figure out where. I think it seems likely that the clowns are going to be the ultimate target here. But I would like to know who it is actually is control of the child's well-being, partially so that we can maintain our proper cover.
Agreed.
So, talk to the help.
Talk to the help.
Where do you want to try first? Games inside? The petting zoo?
Well, we could always observe, see who the servants are, who's serving the food, who's carrying plates out, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Catch a sympathetic ear with one of them and go from there.
Sounds good. Let's head inside then.
So you have access to pretty much all of the ground floor, and access to G13 and 14.
Okay.
Those are the other rooms. As you've kind of like taken a lap around the house, the other rooms are like bedrooms and privies, which are private chambers.
Sure. I will look for wherever, I imagine there is a buffet style situation somewhere for food. I will head there.
Okay. That I believe is going to be G8.
Cool. I will head in. What is the music situation in here?
I believe G8 actually. Let me get the notes.
Big stir.
Yep.
Yes. Let me find G8. The G8 is, yes, there we go. G8 is actually a dining hall.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I will go in and grab a plate of food. And as I'm doing so, I would like to kind of see if I can intuit, who people seem to be deferring to.
Okay. As far as the music goes, some of the larger rooms in the house either have small 3-piece bands, but you hear that there's a much larger band playing in a room above you and on a floor above you.
Gotcha.
Right now, the food that's being served seem to be like hors d'oeuvres, appetizers, like a feast is being prepared and it's not yet out. As far as what you see, to who would be kind of the ones being looked to. We see here. There is there's a kind of an older human woman. You see that she's heavy set, kind of looks like your typical grandma. She's walking around in a great white hat, and just kind of, testing some of the food as it comes out, smacks a couple of the waiters, and they drop the food, and they go back and they get better food. She seems to kind of be the one who's kind of directing everything. She seems to be the authority, at least, of the waiting staff.
For sure. Awesome. I will clock that and sit down and begin to eat and just kind of continue to watch things go around me.
Okay. And Iseult.
So I'm gonna investigate the house a little bit to see who I can see, what I can find, if that makes sense. So
absolutely, as you begin to investigate the house, you immediately find
the library as well.
G12, which is the family library.
I feel like that's a secondary ability at this point. Detect library.
You managed to find
that's a passive ability. Yes, you find the family library. Inside, let me see if I have any particular notes. Inside, you see that there are kind of not the knights, as you see kind of knights and squires aren't drinking, they're not eating, they're just kind of walking around in kind of a patrol. But you see that they're the adults, the families, the parents and the legal guardians, they have moved into this room, and they're kind of taking books off shelves. There's a great oak desk kind of sitting in the back. And you see that there is someone who's sitting on the desk as if he owns it, feet up. He's smoking a pipe. And there looks like a small bar has just been set up on this desk.
In the library.
In the library, yes.
I mean, it makes sense to a degree.
Okay, back.
So, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna phrase this without sounding creepy.
Just go right for it.
Just barrel on through.
Oh, beg your pardon. I was wandering around looking for the library, and I seem to have found it, but I also did not wish to interrupt whatever drinking and reading you may be doing.
You kind of draw a small crowd, but the man at the desk, he kind of raises his glass and he says, not a bother, not a bother. This is, he kind of looks around and he goes, this is the boring room, wink, where all of the books and learning happens. Kids have no interest in learning on their free time. And a couple people kind of click their glasses together. And he says, do come in, have a drink. Find something to read if it suits you, but the conversation is fine and the people are better.
Ah, I see. Well, thank you. I think I might just. And if I don't join in the conversation, I may as well peruse the shelves as well. Such a pleasure to meet all of you.
And he says, the pleasure is mine. And by the way, I am Larry Bismuth. Let me find the correct names here.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Iseult Stormwind.
Yes, he says, I'm Larry Bismuth. A pleasure to meet you, Miss Stormwind. Who is it? What child have you dropped off today?
Ah, yes, our young ward, Eleanor. Her parents recently passed, and We thought it might be nice for her to mingle with someone her own age and, who has been through a similar experience. And, we'll be dealing with similar inheritance issues in her own coming of age. And she gives the man something of a knowing look, like, you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah,
like,
very knowing wink.
Perhaps we can make an arrangement between this young girl and this young, that horror.
Yeah. Someone goes, another orphan. It must be going around. And he laughs, and a bunch of people other laugh.
And Iseult laughs as well, and she's like, well, speaking as one myself, I believe parenthood to be the number one cause at this point.
They love that. That's actually very funny. They love that. Yeah. It just steins click together, and then like a glass of clear liquid is handed to you. And then they kind of raise their cups to yours.
Can I? I'm trying to. I can't. Let's see. I don't have detect poison. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can.
A medicine.
Okay before I drink it.
Wouldn't detect poison ping on alcohol anyway?
That's fair.
You can make a medicine check.
All right, I will do a medicine check and make it just seem like I'm sniffing. I'm not trained in medicine, so that's going to be a 13.
13, it honestly doesn't seem like it's anything in particular. It just seems like it's probably a clear alcohol, like a kind of vodka.
Not anything, just
because
super
vodka.
alcohol.
Yeah,
it's nothing, just vodka. And so she salutes and downs the drink with them, like lifts the glass in like a toast. And
okay, fair enough. And with that, they don't hold you to conversation. You're kind of free to move around the library as you see fit. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, because I wanted to keep an ear on conversation to see if I overheard anything juicy while simultaneously seeing if there's anything in the library I may want to appropriate.
Okay, so at this time, I need another D12.
Okay, that is going to be a 5.
5. Okay, this is going to go over to Strikes from Afar and Johann. You kind of overhear the group. Someone say, I think, it's like getting kind of hungry. We should go in and have some wine and some cheese to fill our bellies to soak up some of the wine. And they kind of, they all laugh, and they all seem to be heading into the direction that it looks like Iseult and Setet had headed in. They're looking to go inside to get hors d'oeuvres.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that doesn't seem like it would be a problem, does it?
Yet.
Would you not want that?
Well, once they get inside and they're out of sight, bad things could happen.
Well, we're going with them.
Oh, okay. I see you're going with them. Okay, gotcha.
I was trying to determine if, as a group, we would have wanted to interfere with that, but I don't think there is any reason to.
Why?
I'm just marveling at 13-year-olds drinking their wine and cheese.
It's fine. By the way, I follow along about 10 feet back quietly, because that's what I do. Yeah.
Okay. As Setet, as you're kind of sitting, keeping an eye out, keeping an ear out, you see this large group of kids have just opened the door, and they just start spreading out. Just grabbing what they can off of plates. They're just grabbing glasses and plates from waiters. It's very I Want Candy music video.
Yes. Yeah.
They're just running rampant in here.
Very raised by wolves.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Other than me and Johann, are there really no other muscle following along this privileged gaggle of children?
There's not, but there is there's always a knight nearby. They're not following, but the knights and squires are taking a self-appointed patrol.
Interesting.
It's one of those things like how am I supposed to protect you when you don't want me near you, but they want you to protect them without being near you?
Mm-hmm.
It's the it's that unreasonable demand of the wealthy.
Yeah. Let the knights they've hired do the patrolling, and I will be the fun ruiner and stay very nearby.
So
you're the cleric, so you're ostensibly the fun ruiner. Yeah.
Yeah.
As everyone is the kids kind of go along inside of this already crowded dining hall, it fills up to more than capacity. And you begin to lose sight of both young Addie and the veiled mistress. So now that it's happening in the same room as Setet, Johann, and Strikes from Afar, what would the three of you like to do?
As things are getting even more chaotic, Setet will stand up and go over to that woman in the gray hat and just place just gently tap her on the shoulder.
All right. She will turn to you, and as she turns quickly, she goes, what?
Sorry, I just wanted to say, I think that you and your team are doing just an absolutely bang-up job here. Honestly and sincerely, you don't see a whole lot of it these days, but y'all are throwing just a fantastic party here today.
And she says, this gaggle of bums not my team. No. Lazy. Can't hold a book on their head. As like a waitress walks by, she throws her arm out and slams her in the face, and she falls down. And she goes, my waitress, break hand. Boom, off wrist. Sturdy and strong. Weak. Feebled. Children.
Well, then what are you doing here managing the lot?
I'm the chef. I cook the meals. I baste the meats. I make sure everything is as close to godliness as possible.
But then where's your team if this isn't your team?
My team cooks.
I see. So you're just keeping an eye. So these...
Don't say just.
I was going to say, don't say just.
Yeah, no, I did not mean it as in just, as in, as in, like, that's all you do. I said, oh, that's what you do.
What you do.
So then who's supposed to be, do these lot, I just point to the waiters, do they not normally work here?
They are the house servants of the madame and master of the home.
Who's that? I thought they passed away.
This is Larry and Lara. This is the and she kind of takes her hat off and puts it in front of her and goes, rest their soul, and puts the hat back on. This is his brother and his wife.
I see.
Okay.
Are they the ones that are minding the...
Yes. They mind the house, they mind the boy, but they don't mind the food. They need to have better. You see what I have in here? Poor cuts. Bad butchers. No seasoning. These gardens are shit.
Look what you've got yourself into.
Well, clearly they need to go ahead and get their shit pulled together.
She gives like a hearty nod.
Interesting. Okay. I will pause and mull on that if you want to move to somebody else.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So, strikes from afar, Johann.
As we begin to lose our charges in the crowd, I'm going to quickly turn to Strikes and say, the doors.
What? I'm going to watch the kid, and that's what I do, because I try really hard to actually continue to keep my eyes on the kid.
Okay, so basically as Johann turns to you, you're gone.
Yeah, 100%.
You're just pushing through a crowd of waiters and like boozed up teenagers.
I just put my fingers to the bridge of my nose and sigh heavily and begin casting Arcane Eye.
Okay. What I would like is a perception check from the two of you.
No problem. 1d2.
Okay.
14.
All right. So as the two of you are looking, the arcane eye is just kind of floating above, just kind of looking for whatever it can find. But it's the eagle eye of Strikes from Afar. Notices that a sleight of hand drops something into one of the large pockets of his vest. He does not seem to notice.
Wait, someone dropped something into someone else's pocket?
Someone has slipped something into the vest pocket of Addie.
Oh no.
Fair enough. Well, so I guess I tried to get closer.
Sleight of hand it back out.
Yep, 100%.
That's easy enough to do. So you can just kind of move up, and as you do, the Veiled Mistress sees you, and you see that she has like cheese that she is like gripping so hard it's kind of pushing through her fingers, and an empty goblet. And she goes, "What?"
So, do you see that over there? And I point over and I say it very loudly.
Roll a deception check.
Oh my god, what's that?
Any chance I can switch that to persuasion?
No.
Well, 15, not too bad.
How are you
Okay.
better at persuasion than deception?
I'm not particularly great at either.
Unfortunately, the group is also going to roll a 15.
Fair enough.
So a couple of them look, but not Addie.
And Addie is the kid, I guess. Yeah. Well,
or the boy.
And then I say, But no, so he doesn't look, and I go, I've never seen clowns like that before.
And he goes, I've not yet seen the clown's gestures. I've not actually gone over there quite yet. They just finished setting up. I'll be sure to see them sooner or later, though.
By the way, I say, and I kind of walk towards him, and then I fall. I purposely fall into him.
This is getting entertaining.
All right, so here's what you need to do. You need to give me a deception check.
Right, it's going to be amazing. Here we go. With no bonuses, I think this will go well. I rolled an 8.
Okay. This actually might not... we'll take a quick look. Insight. Okay. You're actually able to fall into him. The Veiled Mistress, who would have absolutely, pushed you to the floor, was not able to kind of read through that, so she wasn't ready. Yes, and you are welcome to do what you wish.
I will try to take the thing back out of his... Oh, my fucking word! Yeah, that's a nat 1. So, shenanigans occur.
Nat ones don't count on skill checks. What is it?
Oh, 13.
Oh, 13? Okay. Let me get the noble... This might actually work. Let me check what nobles have for passive perception.
Jesus Christ! Could that series of rolls went any worse? That was not great.
The passive perception of a noble is 12.
Woo!
So as you kind of fall into him, he does, he drops everything he's holding and reaches out to try and grab onto you, which he's got to kind of fail at. He's got to kind of grab a handful of your hair and then he really tried to catch you, but
yeah,
he just kind of
Thank you. I've had too much wine. I'm
sorry. I didn't mean. My apologies. I'm very sorry. I did not mean to grab onto you. Are you okay?
It's fine, and I apologize for interrupting your party. I will go back and watch my charge from afar. I do apologize. The clowns, though, definitely check the clowns out. And I take a step back.
He smiles and he's yeah, and someone kind of hands him a new goblet. Would you like to see your prize?
I am curious what has been slipped into his pocket. Yes.
You are holding it. What looks like a small bead, and it's orange, and it looks like it's full of fire.
That all seems bad.
I know what it is.
I slip that to Johann.
Oh, don't give it to me. I'm gonna take it. You're gonna put it in my hand. I, by the way, have moved to back toward the door. I have one eye closed.
Okay.
And so he comes over to me. I look at him with the one eye that's open. He puts this thing in my hand. I look at it. I go, "You are kidding me! Get this outside!"
The two of you know this is a bead of fireball. This is a literal fireball waiting to explode.
It's a bead of delayed fireball.
Yeah.
Yep.
Say,
Throw it over the wall. Get it out of here.
is it just going to blow up on its own, or does it have to get impacted?
Roll an Arcana check.
Johann, I'm not going to bother to roll that check.
You asked.
Yeah.
You asked. You have to roll it.
Well, I asked him, to be fair, because I knew I wouldn't know.
DM roll.
All right, I'm 11.
11. You don't know, but you do know that this is a treasure this is a tool that we can use for later, or this is going to blow up in your hand very soon.
So I'm gonna go quickly towards the wall, towards where I think the clown compound is.
just make a ranged attack.
No problem. Let's see how this goes. Let's see. What is a ranged attack for me? Never mind. My ranged attacks are excellent. Yeah. Let's see here. How does a 26 do?
As you kind of go up to the wall, you look around and you just... and you just kind of wait like a minute and nothing really happens, but then you just feel like mighty rumble, and you just hear the sounds of horns squeaking. It's just like a cannon fires off, and you hear somebody go, "Ah!"
Job done. All right then.
Fortunately, they got the little clump fire department out there real quick. So
Yeah.
Luckily, Setet warned the guards to keep an eye on them in case they exploded.
You know that you brought that on them, not me.
Go ahead and take some inspiration for that. Funny as shit. Okay. So, the kids are going to kind of remain in this area. They were outside for about an hour. Another hour has passed. We're kind of moving in increments of hours here. So they're going to kind of be in there. Iseult, back over to you. What would you wanted to kind of sit by and kind of eavesdrop, right?
Right. So I want to eavesdrop while also trying to get a good glimpse of good stuff in the library.
She's distracted.
Okay, and here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you inspiration after this, but you're going to need to make me a perception check with disadvantage because your natural
there's books here.
It's drawing your attention. So go ahead and make that check with disadvantage.
I'm going to use 2 of the most precious dice in the world. That's literally a 17 and a 16 with disadvantage. I'm not even kidding. I used my ancient d20s. One of them was my dad's. So with my +6, that's going to be 22 at disadvantage.
Okay, 22 at disadvantage, and I'll come right back over to you, Tyra. Strikes from front. I don't know if that. So with that's a solid roll. Kind of perusing the books, there's truly nothing here of interest. It's all like personal journals. It's boring shit. It's filler. It's literally shelf filler. However, you do overhear somebody talking. You can see that it's a conversation coming from a high elf woman, and she seems to be talking about her daughter Kale. And in kind of more hushed whispers, she's talking about kind of her concern of the business when a 13-year-old drunk boy takes control. And she's kind of talking, she's talking very negatively. He's got to run this shit into the ground. We're going to lose all of our money. You hear that conversation coming from this high elf woman.
Yep. Interesting. so this high elf woman is basically like, and so I take a moment in particular to listen to let's see, trying to think. Yeah, so I'm going to take a minute to just listen to her and see if I can glean any more information about this.
That's kind of the most of it, is that she doesn't think he's going to do a good job, and she's concerned about her financial holdings in the company. That's
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the most of it. Is there anything else you want to do?
Well, if there's nothing interesting on the shelves, which is very unfortunate. Wow, in that whole giant library.
It absolutely reads as posers to you.
Gotcha.
It's like, look at my big library. I'm very smart.
It's one of those.
These are all just blank journals.
Yeah, they're all the like same set of encyclopedias.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. In that case, now I will go basically just kind of make my way towards the party and the group of people and start listening to I guess just listening to more conversations.
Do you want to stay in the same room?
Yes, because I want to listen to more of what this new guy has to say. Not the new guy, the dude at the desk whose name I've already forgotten. Lewis something.
It's Larry Bismuth.
Larry Bismuth, that's right. Yeah. So I feel like if he's there kind of running the drinking party, that there's more to him that meets that he's connected somehow, if that makes sense.
Okay. And as far as strikes from afar, with a passive perception of 20, you did not see specifically who did it, but you did recognize the sleeve that dropped it in is a sleeve of the dress of the help.
You said Chesgary is in the room with me?
Yes.
Setet.
Yes.
I look at him and with hand signals from thieves camp say active assassin the help.
Mm-hmm. Setet will nod, clock that, and motion for you to and I will just motion for you to come on over.
Sure. The cook is like still going on. It's just going on and on about how bad things are here.
Mm-hmm.
I walk straight up to him and I say, "He's drunk again. We have to go."
Look, I understand. No, we need to keep an eye on him. But I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, ma'am.
She says, Mildred.
Mildred.
I'll be right back, guys.
Sure.
Okay. Mildred was just telling me how she doesn't normally work. The staff here is of the masters of the house.
She like swings her hand like almost to nip your nose and says, "If I want him to know, I'll tell him."
Well,
my apologies.
Hi, ma'am. I'm a lady, but fair enough. That being said, really think you should come and look at him for just a moment.
Excuse me, Madam Mildred. And
she nods and she goes to the kitchen.
I say to him very quietly, we need to keep eyes on. There's other professionals here. They tried to blow him up in a spectacular fashion.
I thought I heard something to that effect going on outside.
Those clowns? Probably don't need to worry about them anymore.
So, do you guys want to move to another room? Like Setet, if you're not staying with the group, do you want to move to another room?
Yes. I think it would probably I just want to confer real quick. I think it might behoove us to figure out where they're basing out of.
Makes sense.
Do you want to stay on the charge, or do you want to go and look for it?
Problem is, if they have professionals, they'll probably try something similar. We need to keep a sharp eye on them.
All right.
So
maybe
you
both
or
of us.
me? Yeah.
Honestly, your perception is better. You are going to be the one that's probably better at actually keeping an eye on the boy.
Then that's what I'll do.
All right. So the entire first floor is open to us. That's correct?
Correct.
And second floor, where is Iseult?
Iseult is in G12.
Iseult is in G12.
Yeah, I'm still in the library because I want to I want to schmooze up to this dude because I think I could be wrong. But
with that in mind, I would like to go. Do I see any help going upstairs?
Yes, you do.
Okay. I will head
Setet,
upstairs.
Setet, before you leave,
Yes.
I say to you really quickly, I say if this keeps escalating, it might be best to clear the house, but I'll let you decide.
We'll figure that out. If you need to do that, go ahead and do it. I'll figure my own way.
Okay.
I will head upstairs. First, I will take a look into G14, see what's going on in there.
All right, G14. Okay, so as you come up the stairs, roll me a history check.
Bad. 9.
Okay. As you come upstairs, this kind of middle floor, you see that as of right now, there are a few people up here, but as of right now, it seems to be like a staging area.
Sure.
The door to G14 is wide open, and you see that tables are being brought in, table toppers, ice sculptures, they're all being pushed in.
Okay.
And this looks like a grand ballroom. Like this looks, the dancing, you see that the music you've been hearing, there's a stage near the back by a great glass window. You see a much larger band is there. They're kind of practicing and warming up. In the center, you see that there is a very well-dressed human woman who seems to be orchestrating all of the goings-ons.
Interesting.
But as you come up, you see that there is an elderly, half-elven man who is dressed very well, but very clearly part of the serving staff. He says, "Excuse me, master, but the ballroom is not yet ready, and we do ask that you wait downstairs."
Oh, my apologies. I was under the impression that at least the ballroom was open to guests as of yet. My apologies. I'm here with a young lady in a similar situation to the young master. So I'm just getting a lay of the land so that she knows what to expect. You understand, they're young as they are, they're getting to a state at this age these days.
He smiles and he says, "It's strange these days how we find ourselves in similar situations as the past. It's as if it all comes and goes fluidly."
Fact it is. I am Liggett Setet, by the way. And you?
And he says, "I am Master Cromwell. I am the butler of this house. The head butler of this house."
Very good. Well, in that case, Master Cromwell, allow me to extend my deepest congratulations to you and your staff. You all seem to be doing just a fantastic job today.
He gives you kind of a gracious bow and he says, "The show is yet to begin. I know that angry cook downstairs seems to think us something of a slack, but she'll see when the tough gets going. When it gets tough, the tough get going, you know."
Fair enough. I wasn't going to say anything, but she is willing to talk the ear off of anybody down about how she likes things run back in her neck of the woods. Might be worth giving her a talking to before she starts mouthing off to the wrong person.
He kind of goes, of course, that Tempwell Griffin suggested her to us. Who knows what that gambling fiend would bring to our home. But he's friend of the master, so...
All the help are willing to speak such shit with you.
Look, everything is going perfectly according to plan. Tempwell Griffin, who's that?
He kind of looks and he gives you like a very wry look and he puts his hand over his mouth and he says, "Oh my, perhaps I have said too much."
Well, I won't tell anybody. Your secrets are safe with me.
He smiles and he gives you a nod and he says, "I'm afraid I must get back to work. Do have a lovely time."
And you as well. And good luck with all that. And I'll just kind of nod my head back in the general downstairs-ilar direction.
He nods and he says, "It's a pleasure to see you." Roll me a perception check.
Ooh, that money. That's going to be a 24.
24. As you kind of turn and wave at him, he says, "It's good to see you." And then under his breath, he says, "Again."
Wait, hang on. Is he a half elven?
I think he said it was human.
Okay. What's he look like?
Yeah. How do I know this guy?
You failed your history check.
Guys.
History check. I haven't made a history check.
You did. You rolled a 9 on it.
I did. Beans.
Guys.
Beans.
Guys.
Can I get an insight check?
Guys, remember that very first adventure we had?
Because he did just snark at me.
As you turn around to kind of like look at him, he just doesn't seem to be standing there.
Guys, the second ever adventure we ever had at the woman's funeral thing, and she had made a deal with a devil. Do you remember that guy who ran out of the room?
Chain devil.
Guys.
I guess I will cautiously walk away because now I'm a little on edge. I am at this point, I'd be in G13. Where do I see people walking to and from?
G13 is the staging area, and he's kind of asked you to go back downstairs.
Gotcha. Okay. And there are still people in G13?
Yes, but they're servants. They're moving things to prepare this ballroom.
Gotcha. Fuck. Okay. I was gonna ask. I can tell by just looking around. There is no way I can, like, stealth around up here. Is there? It's too small.
It's too small and it's extremely crowded. At least that's this time.
What I was thinking. Okay, I will head back downstairs.
Okay. Someone roll me a d12.
I got it. 4.
Okay. Actually, let me do this. There we go. So with a 4, you find that, so specifically for Strikes from Afar and Johann, you find that someone makes a comment and says, "Yes, I might like to see the jesters." And the young Addie Bismuth says, "Some entertainment to settle our stomachs, yes?" And they kind of, raise their glasses and with full cups, they start moving their way back outside and out towards the where the clowns would be, which is more down towards G3.
Right. Little do they know. So if it's still around, I'm going to be keeping my arcane eye positioned, like, directly above Addy himself, just beam straight down at him to try and catch anything going on there, and then I'm going to move after the group so I can be a little less suspicious.
For clarity, that is invisible, right?
It is invisible, yes. You would need see invisibility to spot it. I think detect magic would show you that there was magic up
That's fine.
there, but you wouldn't be able to know what it was.
And I say under my breath to be heard. All right, the clowns. It's gonna be amazing. I wonder if they do fire tricks. And let's go. see
What
the
exactly did you do?
clowns. What? I did nothing.
Well, you
So,
got...
as the two of you start following your way out, you go up past this cluster of trees where they were sitting. You go up near where, kind of in the like northeast corner, is like a petting zoo area that you kind of don't see all of, and just between like where the tree and where like G3 is the topiary garden, which they walk through, but they don't like walk through the garden. They just walk past it, and they go down by G3, which is kind of, this area is kind of set up as a small carnival alley. When they come up, you see that these jesters come out, and one has the face of sadness, the other one has the face of joy. And they come out and they start speaking in rhymes, in riddles. And the kids are kind of oohed and awed at the storytelling that's kind of going on.
I thought you killed the carnival clowns.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Strikes from Afar is looking a bit confused at this moment.
Well, this was of the troop that came. This is what could fit in the area.
You killed the ones that were waiting in the wings.
Yeah, you killed. That was their day off.
Oh, well.
Oh man.
I looked at Johann and I went, well,
So as you know, as the group kind of moves into this area, you see them split up. There's really nothing but the kids over here, as everything seems a bit juvenile, as it's all like fart jokes and like barely disguised dicks everywhere.
Sounds all right.
what?
It's very Shakespearean, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We were all kids once, guys. We know exactly how this goes.
So as the two of you just kind of sit and watch during this hour, you see that a gnome dressed in like a very large hat and this very happy-looking smile comes over to the veiled mistress and to the young master Addie Bismuth, and he says, "You're the birthday boy!" And he claps, and the clowns kind of turn and clap, and they kind of like throw confetti at him, and says, "How would you like to be a part of a magic trick?" And as he does that, like glitter, like magic glitter comes from his hands.
If they offer to make him disappear, then I'm going to accuse you of having watched Legend of the Seeker.
No, that's too easy. That's too easy.
I want them to saw him in half and have Death Ward go.
It's actually fucking saw him in half. It's the super magical clown, just goes to the violent method.
Yep.
The magic is violence. And of course, that is like, yeah, and the kids clap. And when he kind of pulls him up on a small stage, and he says, "What you need to do is very simple." And he starts doing like card tricks. That, some of it's magic, most of it is sleight of hand. And he says, "Now, you need to only simply hold this sword." And he puts the sword in the young man's hand.
Do I recognize this sword?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Yes. I was very closely involved with the sword that is being gasped about. Alright, not a great Arcana check. That is going to be an 18.
With an 18, this does appear to be like a dancing sword. Like that, the blade that flies around and fights you. It appears to be like that, but looking at it, it looks different. The runes on it, the magical feel you get for it isn't exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
He explains
it's not our sword.
Yeah, it's not ours. It's not our sword.
That sword.
Okay.
No. Okay. I thought. Okay. Yeah. He says, now, this is called the Blade of Dancing, you see, as the sword does not possess its handler. It merely guides them so long as its companion sword is within reach. And he kind of turns around, and from a small curtain, you see a beautiful elven woman, barely dressed, just like, just string bikini with napkins.
Yeah.
She comes out and she has kind of the off-colored sword of like the green, gold, and red. This is red, gold, and green. And when she comes up, you see, Addie stand up a little more firm, and she takes her sword and slides it down the width, the length of his, and they begin to just start subtly moving in
There's
kind
nothing subtle about this.
Their movement, yeah. Listen, no, but they begin to dance around one another as the blades kind of spark off here and there, and they're just having this seemingly intricate, intimate dance. And what I would like is for the two of you to roll me an insight check.
Okay. 17.
Okay. Strikes from afar.
Yep. One moment, please.
I've been
Surprisingly, a 15.
Okay. With both a 15 and a 17, you see that as the dance goes on and they become more intertwined and perfectly step around each other, she is moving the blade closer and closer to the side in front of his throat. Like you can see like small fine hairs drop from his head.
Oh.
And it looks like she's getting very close to having that like whatever edge of that sword she wants to be right across his throat.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
What do we do?
I mean, he does have Death Ward.
He does have Death Ward, but I'd like it to not get popped before the night is up. I would be so happy if it never gets popped, because once it's gone, it's gone. Let's see. I'm worried that if I try to dispel magic on the item, it'll mean that he's not being guided anymore, and right now they're made to be, like, colliding with one another, so it's the only thing protecting him at the moment.
Strikes from afar. Any ideas?
Well, I have a few. I'm just giving Johann a moment.
You're letting Johann try to put forward a good idea.
So
before the idea, I think I know what you want to do.
So I stride up to the pair.
I thought you were just going to shoot her.
I'm probably going to, but I'm going to try and diffuse this situation without murdering people openly. I stride up to the pair and I say, "You call that a dance?"
Oh, hell yes. I'm totally prepared to watch this go down.
The gnome kind of slides up in front of you and goes, please, everyone can have a chance with the sword after their dance is done. He's the birthday boy.
What's it talking to you, Scrunt?
Are there torches around the area?
Yes, there are, but very quickly, I would like for you to make an intimidation or a performance check. Because now this isn't about your interaction with him. It's about how you can persuade a crowd of drunken teens to be on your side.
Can I help him by changing the color of those flames and causing them to burn brighter as he makes his challenge?
Yes.
Okay, thaumaturgy then.
Alright, so I'll roll... so what does your help do, Tristan?
I think it probably gives you advantage.
That would be good. Because the first roll was not so good. Oh
it's
my
god. It's up to the
god.
DM if it gives you advantage or a static bonus.
Advantage.
Okay, advantage.
Okay, well then, a 13.
Okay. Grab a dice. Throw it on the floor. Okay. With that, all of the teens are like, ooh. And the gnome was not expecting. He kind of looks to you, and he just kind of mutters a little bit, and kind of snaps. Just this sharp wit snaps Addie out of it, and he just kind of pulls himself safely away with the sword in hand.
I say,
he says, "I'm sorry. What?"
I say, this woman here. Frankly, she's a waste of your time. Would you like to see a real dance? Would you like me to show you how a warrior dances with another
That's right,
warrior?
because your character's female. I forgot about that.
The elven woman standing across from him, she looks to you and she says, "I'm fairly certain the only dancing you know how to do is in the mud hills. Why don't you go back to your dung pile and
Is she
allow the
high elven?
entertainers?"
Is she high elven? Did you say?
Yes, she is.
I say, you stuck up bitch. My people were here before you deigned to come down from the heavens and shit all over this world. Why don't we dance for real?
She kind of like takes the sword and she throws it into the ground. And she steps up and she goes, "Our people civilized the rotting lot of animals that your people were."
Oh God.
Yes, you did a fantastic job teaching us writings and filling our head with nonsense, and then turning your backs on the forest when it was in need. Why don't you come over here and educate me once again?
She steps up to your face and she says, "Of course we turned our back on you. You can't teach filthy, stupid animals civilization."
I say, wait, didn't you have a job to do? And then I turn and walk away.
Okay. You're going. Give me an acrobatics check with disadvantage.
No problem. That should be relatively straightforward.
18.
I have a 20.
Damn. You feel her fingers pull through your hair as she tries to grab your hair. She can't get a fistful of it, but she tried.
Okay. Well, I continue walking and I don't even give her the time of day.
At this point, the kids just clap. They just clap. They love this. They just clap.
Nice.
All right, well, fair enough. If she comes after me, let me know. But otherwise, I think that's excused.
That was her attempt. It was she was going to grab you by your hair and then start attacking you. But having missed this, it would just look worse on her to keep trying.
Fair enough.
So like kind of the music plays back up and someone comes over and goes, "Hey, you want to see me throw a pie?" Like trying to get the mood back up. And Addie kind of steps down by the veiled mistress and takes his drink back, and he goes, "The bards are getting stranger every year. Every year."
I look to Johann and I'm like, how many assassins are here exactly?
You like mouthing this across, or you come up to me and say this?
Come up to you and say that.
Okay. I let the flames return to normal. I say, everyone is a suspect.
So with that, I'm going to go back over to Iseult.
Makes sense.
So as you're kind of sitting around, people are drinking a little bit more. Now, you wanted to talk or just talk to, or
I wanted to talk to Mr. Bismuth, sir.
Okay. All right. He's a couple more drinks in. It's been, honestly, you've been in there for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just kind of sitting and drinking, and you're welcome to kind of sit up next to him.
And I go, so how did you get embroiled in all this? Finding yourself stuck at a 13-year-old's birthday party? Because I can tell you right now, when I signed up to be a guardian for a 13-year-old girl, I was not expecting this in the fine print.
He says, "Oh, well, my brother had passed away," and then everyone kind of takes off their hats and they bow their head, and then they go back to drinking. And he says, I was left in charge of his son until he came of an age in which he could command the family fortune. And that time I had access to, I have access to it, but only to make sure young Addy was schooled correctly, homed correctly, and whatever he needed to grow into the strong man like his father and like his uncle. And he kind of nudges you and winks.
Of course, of course. I'm so terribly sorry for your loss.
And he says, "Oh, it was devastating, the loss of my brother." And everyone takes off their hats, and then they bow their head, and they put their hats back on, and they start drinking.
It's an interesting tradition. It's like, how's the boy been taking it? I know that we, with our little Eleanor, not so little now, but Eleanor put up quite a fight against guardianship. Now, granted, she was placed with complete strangers and not her own kin, so I can certainly understand her hesitation.
He smiles and he says, "Well, losing your parents is hard." Hats off, drinks down. And he says, "But he's been taking it in good strides. We've allowed him to drink his fill as he wishes. It helps him to grieve better, but a good time like tonight is exactly what he needs to get up right back on the ball and take charge of his family's fortune."
Of course, of course. Well, to the future instead of dwelling on the past, and she lifts her drink.
And he does too, and he says, "You have a young one who was recently orphaned yourself. How did that come to be?"
Oh, well, quite a sad story. You see, she was on, have you heard these iron dragons?
Oh, I have. I was hoping to get to Neverwinter sooner than later. I'd heard that they have some moving in that direction.
One of them was attacked by this group of just ruffians, mongrels. I've no idea. They never found the perpetrators and who they were, but it was attacked by a group of people, and her parents were on the train going to visit her, and, well, that's all she wrote. There were no survivors. It was a horrific tragedy.
It's a dangerous world out there. Dangerous, dangerous world.
Indeed it is.
Well, terrible that, but I trust she has found herself in good hands.
Of course. My associate and I were co-work. Her parents worked for our firm, and they did such wonderful work. And they had no extended family of their own, so of course they entrusted her to us, and we were happy to accept, of course.
And he nods and he says, "The benefits sure are fulfilling guardianship, if you know what I mean." And he winks at you.
And she's like, "Oh, I completely understand."
And he'll just kind of carry on as much as you would like to talk. Is there anything else you would like to do?
I thought I was going to be able to get more information out of him, but clearly that's not the case.
Do you have any questions you'd like to ask him specifically? Because there's not much he'll give you unprompted.
Right, I'm trying to think of a way to do it, like what I can ask him without it being like suspicious. She, like, I'm trying to figure out how she would initiate such a business. Oh wait, I've got it. Okay. So she goes, so are these lovely other ruffians, oh, I'm so sorry, beg your pardon, teenagers that are in attendance, are they actual friends of the young lads, or are they, as we say in the legal world, potential investments?
He smiles and he says, "They're as much friends as everyone in this room," and they kind of raise their glasses. But he says in kind of a quieter tone, and he says, "I'm not too concerned with investments for the boy."
Oh, he's already got a line of suitors out the door?
He smiles and he says, "Something like that."
Okay, I have everything I need to. Can I roll an insight check to see if I think he means what I think he means?
Give it a roll.
All right.
18.
Oh, dang, 16.
You find him hard to read.
Well, in that case, I am going to err on the side of caution and think that he means exactly what I think he means.
Really? Fucking spider's gonna drop down right in front of me? For real?
Well, that's not creepy or anything.
No, not at all.
So she lives. So,
Ouch.
she, I guess, in order to keep the conversation going, she says, she says, well, perhaps, and perhaps Eleanor will strike up a friendship with one of the children at these parties, and we can keep in touch. And well, we're trying to make sure that her own investment is secure and aligned for her future. Her parents so wanted her to find someone and marry for love and all that, but you know how it goes. Well, I certainly do.
He laughs, and a couple people kind of like laugh around you at that, and he says,
Talking like I'm writing it off as if marriage is nothing but a business.
right. Yeah, and they're like, to marriage, and everyone's like, At this time, one of the waiters walks in, and kind of a waiter addresses every area that can be, that they would have to address, and they'll say, in the main dining hall, we will be serving dinner following opening gifts, and then we will retreat to the ballroom for drinking and dancing and merriment until midnight. So with that, as that announcement has been made, what do you want to do before the mealtime hour comes in? So you have like 1 hour of full roam before everyone has to get together to eat.
Actually, real quick, how late are we planning on going? Because I do have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm like, this is like the last bit of it. I'm skipping a couple hours, and we're going. Cool. Yeah.
No worries. Then with that in mind, I think Setet is going to continue to keep station in kind of that main room area, just to keep an eye on everything that is going on, comings, going, see if he can track anybody specifically that might be problematic, we'll say.
Okay. Iseult.
So I'm going to I'm gonna like stand up and fake swaying a little and say like, perhaps I should maybe eat something before I continue drinking. But say that it's been lovely to meet him, blah blah blah. Hope he enjoys the party as much as he can, being surrounded by hopefully enjoys this little seclusion of adults.
Sure. But what would you like to do now?
So I'm gonna try and catch up with the others and let them know what I've learned and what I suspect, and just basically, it's like, let's gather together, see what we've learned so far, because it sounds like a lot of people are after this kid, like a lot, including his own family.
As far as the group of teens go, they're basically gonna make their way, as he's the birthday boy, he wants to make sure he gets to his seat, and his friends are seated around him without issue. So that whole group is gonna be making their way to the dining hall at G8. So Johann and Strikes from Afar, an hour has passed. I don't know how long your eye lasts.
An hour.
Okay, so that would have dissipated. What do the two of you want to do before you get there?
I'm gonna be making sure to stay close to this group, as is befitting of the Night Guardian of this girl, and continue thwarting.
I was going to say, since we've seen 2 murder attempts thus far, I'm going to continue to guard the kid.
2 murder attempts you've seen so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have probably been more.
Okay, so the 4 of you can get together. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick. Go ahead and kind of fill each other in on the information. And when I come back, we will move forward with the next part. I just don't want to stop in the middle of it because I have to pee. Yeah. So I'll be right back.
So basically, Iseult lets them in. She does specify that, while she couldn't get a read on the guy, she couldn't get a read on the uncle. She thinks that when he said that, he wasn't worried and was so intent on it that he meant straight up, that the kid was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And so before he even had to worry about him getting married.
I think that it would be a reasonable deduction that most people, especially within the boy's remaining family, want to see him dead, as he is, as long as he lives, the heir to this estate. Were he to fall, one of them would become the heir.
Mm. Oh, and I also mentioned what that high elf woman said about the. Actually, I'm wondering if my high elf woman later left to be the high elf woman who did the sword trick.
So I don't know how many. I haven't been around the party perusing. I've been watching the lad, and Strikes from Afar has thwarted a couple of obvious murder attempts already. But I would say that whomever's in attendance that bears the name Bismuth has probably got people here that they've already paid to do the job for them, whether it's the caterers or the entertainment.
So, in other words, the entire family wants him dead.
They don't inherit anything if he lives. They want what's coming to him.
So at that thought, the dinner bell rings and a train of extremely stressed servers come out.
I will lean over to everybody else. Keep an eye on the head butler. Got something. Their name is Cromwell. I got a weird vibe off him.
Noted. Where is he now?
Do I see Cromwell?
Roll a perception check.
22.
With a 22, you see Cromwell comes down from the stairs, but he is accompanied a beautifully dressed human woman, and she just kind of dances her way through the crowd. She is met by Larry, and the two of them hand in hand walk around the table, and they wave at people, and they both put their hands and smile on Addie's shoulder, and then they move to the other end. He's sitting at like one end of the table, they sit at the other so he can sit with his friends. And you see the butler is just kind of shadowing behind them, but then kind of falls to linger in the background of where he's sitting.
Can I
point? Yeah.
You point to him. Do I recognize him, or do I sense that can I make a history check? Would I not have known him?
Nope. No, I don't think you would have known.
Okay.
So, with that, plates and great dishes of fully cooked boars, great ribs of bovine are brought out, and they're placed down in front of everybody. And with a bell, everyone starts kind of moving things to their plate. The adult side is actually fairly, is quiet. They're cutting their food, and the children's side is just them fucking tearing meat and going in on it at their animals. However, you do not see a plate in front of Addie, because that plate is brought out by Mildred.
Oh no.
The head chef, on a fine silver platter, a nice, perfectly cut, wonderfully seared piece of meat with some vegetables on the side and a small like a small cake served, is brought over to him, dropped down, and she seems to explain what she has cooked, and he's just kind of like wobbling in his chair as she's kind of going on about how good she did.
I lean over to Iseult. I don't suppose you know detect poison, do you?
No, only my eldritch sight, but I could always make a scene about how he doesn't have a royal taster.
Well, funny that you mentioned that, because I'd been going to ask about it, but the description started happening. Would it be appropriate for my character as the knight to be by Eleanor's side, behind her chair, and explaining that as a person of great influence and import, it is just common sense to have someone who would discover poisons for them be doing this for Eleanor's food.
Yes, indeed,
Yeah.
you could kind of come up to Eleanor and her food and explain that.
So if that's fine, then I would want to do that. Tasting, doing the tasting for her food and explaining that this is the knight's duty to protect their charge, and making asides to Addie, as apparently he's waiting, that as a person who is going to be inheriting, he should also become used to this kind of treatment.
Yes, because we've got the whole we're teaching her. I see.
Okay, go ahead and roll a persuasion check as you kind of come up and explain, as you're kind of like looking at him, like trying to imply this lesson his direction.
All right,
like wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Persuasion check. That's going to be a 20.
With a 20,
yes.
Eleanor kind of like she's looking at you, and you just kind of feel your sideburns begin to curl with its anger, and she says, "My, what a wonderful idea!" And she takes her fork and goes, like cuts into the plate and hands you a piece of the food she has.
Oh, I thought she was going to hand me part of the plate.
Trust me, there's some porcelain in what she's handing you. Don't you worry.
Fuck. All right, there's going to be this moment's pause as I look down at the piece she's handing me, and then I will very loyally take it gently from her hand, like give it a couple sniffs, pretend like I'm noticing something about it, and then take a quick bite of it, chew it for a moment, very, making sure to make a show of this, go, all right, yes. And assuming nothing bad happens to me, I'm going to hand the empty fork back and say, yes, I do believe this food is safe, my lady.
And at least for now, nothing happens to you.
Okay.
And he goes, maybe you're right. Maybe even just for my birthday. A test. Yes, perhaps a test. And the veiled mistress kind of looks up to you. Eleanor looks up to you and goes, for the love of God, says, I'll test for you. And she grabs his fork, jams it down, and like pulls the whole steak up and takes a bite of it and puts it back down.
Oh, this child.
Well, if she dies, but we still succeed.
A mistress, we do not, as nobles such as yourself, do not take from the plates of other nobles that have not been offered. Now, I would offer my services to the young master, but it seems my young ward has taken them on herself. So, how does it taste?
And she says, it's fine.
Give it a minute.
And you like hear the seething of the cook. And she looks. Roll me an insight check.
It never wants me to do well on insight. That's just going to be, where's my insight? 7, 13.
With the 13, she's giving you a very knowing look.
Oh.
As if she too had subtly cast a spell.
Oh.
And she is fine. She says, it's just fine, dear. And he kind of looks and nods and goes, "My, I didn't know food tasting was such an aggressive affair."
It normally is not, but I would warn the young master that my mistress has always been given the best of the best, and he is not as accustomed to searching for the flavors of poison as myself. And while I do apologize to the young master for my ward's behavior just now, I would inquire if there wasn't a chance that you would like me to ensure.
The butler kind of comes forward and puts his hand on your shoulder and says, "Sir Knight, perhaps you should allow them to enjoy their meal."
I would like to entertain whatever it is the young master wishes, as this is his special day.
And he says, "Well, I guess Eleanor's still alive, then it's probably fine." And the butler looks and says, "Your food is fine. No one would wish to harm you on your birthday."
That is an untruth, sir.
He kind of like forcefully pushes you back, and he says, "Perhaps your nightly duty is to stand quietly and observe."
And perhaps your duty as a butler is not to tell me my job.
Oh!
He pulls his hands down. He pulls his hand down. He takes his hands and he looks to you, and he says, "Perhaps it is not." But you see, the young master has begun to cut into his food and eat.
Oh, shall. I don't trust this.
You were just told the butler needs to be watched out for.
I was.
If I am remembering correctly, for what it is worth, I think as a paladin you can use your lay on hands to cure poisons.
It's
Not a
true.
paladin.
I am
Not a
not a
paladin.
paladin. I don't have.
And it also does
Rare.
not work for poison. It only works for disease.
Ah, beans. Okay.
Gonna have to just command him to stop.
Command the kid or command
Or hope that your blessing earlier does the job.
No one is aware of it.
Nope.
Well, why don't you roll a medicine check?
Sure. I got a 10.
With a 10, checking yourself, you do not feel ill, and as the boy is gobbling down his food, he looks no more ill.
But I didn't test his food. Fucking the little girl did.
And she doesn't look ill either.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would like is for Setet to roll me an insight check.
I'm better at those. That's going to be a dirty 20.
Okay. With that, as you kind of look around, you catch the eye of the cook, of Mildred, and you see that she is indeed wide-eyed. Something has surprised her very much, and you can follow kind of a gaze that she has over to what looks like from this distance, a well-dressed human. And he's kind of got a very subtle, what the fuck look on his face.
I will excuse myself from the table and go on up to Mildred.
Mildred kind of looks over to you, and her eyes wide. She says, "Yes, your meal not enjoyable?"
Oh, it's quite fine. But I can read you like a book. Something's wrong.
She says, "Nothing is wrong. Everything is perfect. Something wrong, the waitstaff did it wrong."
Did they now?
She just kind of nods, like, yes, that's wrong. They've done it wrong. Left the food out to be cold. Not hot enough.
Fine then. What can I see about this person she was looking at?
He's actually sitting at the table with the adults. He lives out with the adults, and he's playing it cool.
Okay. But he's a guest, not like
He's a
house
guest.
staff?
Yes.
Okay. I will sit back down and I will mention something's off about the cook and that guy too. Trying to think here, what do I have? Can I'm missing something. Can I do a quick investigation about Mildred? Kind of get a little bit more insight with what's going on there.
I'll tell you, there's not much more than
Okay.
yeah.
Then she caught then that guy. Yeah, so I want to maybe do a quick insight on that guy as well.
That's all the information. There's she's like, what the fuck? He's like, I don't know. That's kind of their visual exchange.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
But as it was, the meal is going to go on. Wine is passed, and honestly, those who aren't sitting at the table, which is kind of you guys, after they're done eating, the plates are cleared away, and then you're kind of invited to eat what's left.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the party, all those sitting at the table, including the children, will go up to the ballroom to open presents.
All right.
So, does anybody want to stop and eat?
Nah, I've been snacking all afternoon. I'll go up with the kids.
There you go. Heading up into G14, which is the main ballroom, a beautiful chandelier overhead, a stage in the back with the finest dressed bards. In fact, there's one that stands in the center with a beautiful flute in his hand, one made of ivory and gold. He both sings and plays as if he himself were an angel. You see that there is a massive table of presents in which the young master is allowed to go up to. We are at this time at the 11 o'clock hour. And as the music breaks, everyone is dancing for a little bit. He goes to open his gifts.
Detect magic on the gifts.
Okay. One of them, it's a small gift, looks as if it might have like a ring or a necklace, is crazy fucking conjuration magic.
I will nudge Iseult and nod to that gift. Anyway, you can figure out what's in there.
Would my eldritch sight, my eldritch sight is no different from yours. But let me see.
You've got like identify or something.
I do, as a ritual, if you can make sure that he doesn't open that first.
You're not going to get that ritual off in 10 minutes in a crowded room.
No.
Sorry, I've been muted. You motioned towards a gift, a specific gift. You said it's small?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I sort of start sliding over there.
I mean, I have counterspell.
Well, I have I've got a decent sleight of hand. I can just nick it.
That's the plan.
Again, the easiest answer is the right one.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is your sleight of hand?
What?
Meta. Two meta.
Sorry, two meta.
So when I get over there, I look over to you, and I, in Thieves' Cant, say, "Make a commotion."
Okay.
Great idea.
Yep. Let me let me check the good old inventory. There's like a whole bunch of windows and whatnot up here, right?
Yes.
I would like to take a Is there like a stream of I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do this would be. Because what I would like to do, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I would like to stealth, like hide in the crowd, and then huck a ball bearing through one of the windows.
Okay, roll me the stealth check.
Natural fucking 20.
Nice
Take your
job.
attack with advantage.
Right, hit on the table, half element. That is going to be an 18.
With an 18, not only do you throw the ball bearing through the window, but due to how it is constructed, the entire fucking window just goes and drops to the ground, like just behind the crowd, and everyone snaps their head around. Go ahead and give me that sleight of hand check with advantage.
Okay. Let's see. So either a 24 or a 29.
24 will do
Nice.
it. You're able to just grab that, slide it in your pocket, and no one's the wiser. A couple of the servants run over and they start sweeping up the mess. You see that Laura Bismuth comes over and says, apologies, a bird must have flown into the window too. She kind of like moves to the orchestra to start playing again. And after a couple minutes, the mood gets picked back up. People bring in bottles of wine to start refilling goblets. Just get everything back moving again. He gets through the gifts, which are fine shirts, silks.
Sorry, real quick, if you wanted to give the gift to Iseult so that she could whisk it out of the room to identify somewhere.
Just shirts, like small weapons, just kind of decorative weapons with jeweled handles, nice gifts from people to keep him in mind. But 11, 15, 11:30, 11:45 comes around. You're able to take the gift outside, and with your identify, you see that opening this activates a glyph of warning that releases a water elemental.
Hold on to that. That'll be useful later.
This is a tool that we'll use later.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this water elemental.
Look, worth the price of admission right there.
As the time begins to run by, it's coming down to kind of the countdown. A large clock on the wall with the bell underneath seems to be having that time. And as it's wandering down to the last few minutes, the large door opens in the back. Iseult, you've been let back in, and a big cake, like a 6-tiered cake, gets wheeled in.
Oh, fuck's sake.
And
It's going to be another attempt, isn't it?
It's going to be a mimic.
the cake is wheeled up, and young Addie has been brought up on stage with the bards, who play kind of a jaunty legal version of Happy Birthday. He stands next to this angelic bard who just kind of like bows to him and gives him the spotlight. And as they're playing that do 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 do, the cake gets wheeled up to him.
Can you let me know if the cake goes underneath like a chandelier or anything fun like that?
It absolutely does.
Well, then,
are you going to Phantom of the Opera at the thing?
So I stealthily and getting
We're
ready
gonna
to
really
run.
stretch what stealth is here. Let's do this.
I am going to shoot the chain of the chandelier and have it come crashing on this poor kid's cake and ruin his birthday party.
Give me an incredible stealth check.
All right.
Lights are out, no one focused on you. Standard stealth check.
All right. So my stealth is 31, which is pretty good.
That's pretty incredible.
Okay, make an attack roll.
I probably can do that. Yeah. And where's my longbow? Right there. Boopity boop. 26.
Okay, with a precise shot into the darkness, you hit the chain, and crashing down, the chandelier comes very quickly. Both servants are going to be able to get out from underneath of it as the cake explodes in a baking disaster. Frosting and sponge goes fucking everywhere, along with the broken flutes of wine. It is just a mix of champagne, glass, and cake.
I'm glad there was nobody inside the cake.
And there's a dead halfling.
No!
Really?
No, of course not. No.
Look, that was entirely reasonable.
I thought that
Rise
was
a snake
reasonable.
assassin.
I mean, hey, if
Oldest
stripper
trick in the
cakes
book.
if stripper cakes exist, then assassin cakes exist. You know.
For sure.
So what I would like is a perception check with disadvantage from the rest of the party.
Get my 2, I guess, lucky dice.
One of those was another
Ooh.
nat 20. The other one, total 16.
13 and a 2. So a whole 8.
I forgot what we were rolling.
The existence of dresser cakes. This is a perception check.
With or without advantage?
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Well, then it doesn't matter because I rolled a lovely little 1 on there. So that's going to be a whopping... Not that character sheet. 8. Going to be a whopping 8.
With a 16, as this whole thing comes crashing down, and an instinct pulls you away. And as you look over, as Addie kind of steps forward, just not knowing what, he just steps forward, you see that angelic bard has pulled his flute up to his mouth and has fired a dart into Addie's neck.
Motherfucker.
Death ward, death ward, death ward.
Addie grabs onto his neck and stumbles. At this time, Setet, what do you do?
I see the guy who launched it.
Yes, you do.
I go for him.
Okay, you are quick enough to snap up there. Go ahead and make your attack.
Okay.
Death ward works for darts, right?
I mean, it works
It
for
works
death.
for-
It's called
It works for
death.
anything that would reduce him to dead.
Does he expect me coming?
Yes, he's an assassin. He's
Okay.
ready. He's just you have inspiration should you want it.
Yes, I do. Okay, that's going to be a 17.
Okay, 17 is probably gonna hit. I've got to find my right page here.
Sure.
I'm almost certain that's gonna hit, especially not having a shield.
What happened to the present with the water elemental in it?
I kept it.
Dead right now.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
It's not among the presents, right?
It is no longer among
Okay.
the presents now because Iseult took it and
Okay, yeah, 17 will hit. Go ahead. This does give you. It's a standard attack. I don't think it's gonna be advantage, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, am I the only one with 5 feet?
Hold on.
Yes.
Son of a bitch, he's there. Fucking Squire Smallchild
Oh no!
has moved. It was already close to the stage because he was close to the Veiled Mistress. And when that went down, he's got a 19 on his perception check with disadvantage. He fucking moved up to the stage.
Mm-hmm.
So
Squire
yes, you have a
Smallchild.
companion up there. He's also going to make an attack roll. So
Squire Smallchild with his daggers!
All right. So I guess does
fucking shit, he hits 18, 2 19s and an 18. Let's go. All right, go ahead and roll damage. He's gonna do a D4 plus 0, but look, he's got it. 3, okay.
D8 plus plus 5. It's gonna be 29 damage from me.
Okay. So, as you launch forward like a bolt of lightning, you stick into this dude, and you feel you cut through not a dress attire, but a studded leather armor, but you feel it cut through into the skin. And as you do so, you just hear him go, "Ah!" Boom! And slam the dagger right into his thigh. And as you kind of look up to the bard, you see that the visage has gone away, and what stands in front of you is a drow warrior. Let's roll initiative.
Woo!
yes.
This poor drow.
I mean, if we're lucky, it's the only thing in this room that we have to fight.
Oh, it's not gonna be. Let's be
25.
honest here. The entire room arms.
Okay, Setet,
25.
25. And let's see, Iseult,
7.
Johann,
16.
and Strike. I think you're muted. Strike from afar?
No, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
can.
can.
Yeah. What's your initiative?
10.
Excellent. So that is going to go to... And then that's going to go to... And... Oh. Fucking way.
Squire Smallchild, nat 20 on initiative.
He did.
Of course he did.
He is going to scream.
Good.
It's half battle cry, half fucking terrified. But he's going to make another attack, which will miss.
Okay. Hey, he's flanking with me, isn't he?
Sure. You know what? Yeah. Fucking natural 20.
My boy.
6 points of damage. He's dealt 9 points to this drow.
My darling boy.
That's our son.
He goes for the thigh again, but misses, and with the dagger kind of holding out, he flips and reverses it and drags it through the inside of his thigh.
Yes.
Straight up into the juicy part.
Okay, that is going to go to Setet.
Excellent. Now I will attack. Okay. Dirty 20.
Okay. He is going to use a reaction to parry. Oh, no, that's not going to be enough. So he cannot do that. No, that's going to hit.
That's going to be 32.
Fuck, man.
Sneak attack, man.
Yeah. So him being distracted by the child cutting him up, you just tear his armor to pieces, and he is barely on his feet.
A good trick, not good enough.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, that's enough. Well, no, I'll do. Fuck it. I'll do a. What's it called? My dagger.
Your offhand attack?
Yeah, my offhand attack.
Okay.
Okay. 24. And that is 6 more damage.
Twice as much as you need. With the last slash, you bury a dagger in his chest, and he drops dead to the ground. And as he starts to fall, he goes, "At least he's dead." And drops dead to the ground.
Wow.
Is he actually, though? How is Addie doing?
I'm gonna find out on my turn.
Yep.
We're gonna try anyway.
And with
pull
that,
the dagger out.
that goes to Johann, and you have a sense that your death ward popped.
Oh boy.
And he lived.
I'm going to move to the child. If he seems harmed at all, then I would cast Cure Wounds, if this poison dart would have injured him as opposed to killing him. But I'm going to be looking for more threats.
So here's this. As you move up to him, by the nature of your spell and the nature of your god, as your patron, you see that though, like, the dart had sunk in and the poison had pushed itself in as it should, but the veins around his neck and up to his face turned black and have stayed black.
Oh.
Your death ward saved him. It neutralized the poison, but it has left him scarred.
Oh.
Almost as if it were the will of your deity.
I see. Everything has a cost. I'm going to pull out that shield of mine and, place him between me and the shield, and I'm going to be looking for threats.
Okay. What would you like? Do you want to hold an action if something comes up?
My action is to take out the shield, unfortunately.
Okay.
If I'm allowed to prepare some other actions, since
sure. Yeah, it's technically a free action to draw something.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't have anything in your hand, it's a free action to draw one thing.
Okay. I would be preparing to cast Inflict Wounds. If anybody comes into melee contact, I'm just gonna make them talk to the hand.
Okay. All right. That is then going to take us down to strikes from afar.
I am preparing to murder anyone I see threatening the child.
Okay. With what?
Arrows. With arrows.
All right. And Iseult.
I am going to actually go over to Addy. So he's alive?
Yes. He looks really, really worse for the wear. The white of his eyes have turned black.
Would Revivify would be to bring him back to life.
I'm melt over him with him between my armor and my shield, just so Sue knows.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my. Let's see, how many of those do I have? Maybe I put that ability. Oh, my healing light. I'm gonna use my healing light, which is currently at 10d6.
Just so you know, this doesn't look like it's gonna do anything for him.
Not the healing light?
No.
Not even cure wounds? Well, Death Ward brings him what, to 1 hit point?
Yeah, but he's got a hit point ratio of 4. So if you could just burn 4.
4 hit points?
Yeah, that's all he's got.
Okay, well, I can do a 1d6 out of 10. I have 10d6 in my pool, so one isn't gonna. All right, and I rolled exactly 4.
There you go. So. Full health. All right. With that, the doors that the cake came through get flown open, and you see a massive 4-limbed creature walk in. Giant claws at its side, small hands like a T-Rex in front of him, and he's holding a large piece of parchment. And he goes, is this the Bismuth residence?"
Oh no!
I quip no.
Roll a deception check.
Sure.
That's literally our way out of this.
I rolled a 3.
He takes the paper down and he goes, "Hey, you're lying to me!" And he rips the paper in half and he starts to charge into the crowd.
Jesus!
Is he moving towards the child?
Make your shots.
Fair enough. Okay. What do I got here? Okay. I'm not hidden, so I don't have advantage. You know, that's the saddest shot I've made in a long time. Only a 10.
Misses, goes wide, clacks against its scaly armor.
Okay.
Anything else in your turn? You got another shot?
I do not believe so as a thief.
Okay. All right. That is then going to take us back to the top of the order to Joseph Smallchild. He's going to look at you, Setet, with his very bloodied knife and looking down at the first person he helped kill. And he goes, I think that's it for me today. I think that's my kill quota.
Nope, that's you done good. I go in for a high five.
Yeah, he
is free action.
He's shaking terribly and he misses it, but he gives you a thumbs up.
Okay. I will. Go sit down, have a scrap of cake. And I guess I will. This creature's just rushing the.
Yeah, he's 60 feet away from you right now, but he's rushing up to the stage, and people are clearing the fuck out of its way.
This looks like some kind of monster. Yeah.
This is definite. It's definitely a fucking monster. This is a demon if you've ever seen one.
Okay, I will pull my rifle off my back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're gonna see how this goes. Yeah. Oh no, 14. That ain't gonna do much.
That is going to crack out loud, and it is going to get buried into the one of the walls.
Yep. Okay, that's me.
All right. That is then going to go down to the Glabrazu, who is going to kind of run right up to Johann, because that's where the kid is, and is going to levy some attacks.
Oh, so does it come into my melee range?
Yes, it does.
That means that I'm going to be casting Inflict Wounds upon it.
Good call.
Cool. Cool. Alright, that means I have to roll against it. That is a 19 on the die, 26 on its AC.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Cool, 26 on its AC for my 5d10 damage.
And that's necrotic damage?
Yeah, necrotic damage.
Okay.
Alright, that is 31 points of necrotic damage.
Oh,
Shit.
shit. Okay. All right, that's a lot. Shit, all right. He's going to have to turn this around real quick. All right, so dealing that kind of damage, what veins inside of his carapace are there begin to turn green and pulsate. He is going to yell, Infernal One! And he's going to first throw one pincer at you, and that is going to just be a 16 against armor class.
If I'm allowed to benefit from my shield, that will miss.
Yes, as long as your other hand, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
All right. He's going to try again, which is going to be a 26 against armor class.
That's going to hit me.
With that, he's going to kind of smack your shield away on the first attack, leaving you open. And a solid blow to your chest. We're looking at a measly 8 points of damage.
Alrighty.
However, he is going to be able to snatch you up in his one pincer and pull you out of the way.
Oh, damn.
He is then going to turn to Iseult and assault with his little bitty fists. He's going to make his first attack for 19 against armor class.
That is going to hit, and I am then going to need him to make a dex save after I take my damage.
The next attack will be an 18.
Both of those are going to hit.
All right, so you are going to be taking the form of
A puddle?
a puddle. A puddle of blood, yes. That's fucking counting. 10, 11, 15 points of bludgeoning damage. And his dex save he has advantage on because he is a Glabrezu. And we're looking at two of the same number again. A dex save of 13.
Well, my
Bad for
DC
him.
is 17, so at 5th level, Hellish Rebuke is then gonna do 60 and fire damage.
Oh,
Nice.
only
Nice.
60-10?
Well, I only have 5th level slots.
He took 5d10 from me. He's taking 60.
Roll that damage. Let me know what it is. That's the end of his turn, and that's going to go to Johann. You are currently grappled.
Right.
You can still, like, unheal him when you're grappled, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
It's true.
You just can't move. That's basically all grapple means. And you're lifted off the ground because him big.
It's like, you wanted a hug? Here's a hug.
8 and 8 is 6.
What do you want to do, Johann?
Oh, if it's my turn, I wanted to wait till she had her damage up, but okay. I'm just gonna hit him with another
34 fire.
Nice.
Got it.
I'm gonna hit him with another inflict wounds.
Okay, hold on.
Mhm.
This is the end, you guys. Just do something cool. Do some badass shit.
Do some badass shit.
Do
So
some
30
badass shit, my dude.
Okay.
Wait for what did it? The Hellish Rebuke or whatever he's about to do.
No, I'm just telling him not to do the same spells. Do something cool.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know if I have anything cooler. I could summon a sacred weapon. Inflict wounds is my badass shit. I can do spiritual weapon. I didn't want to do spirit guardians in this room crowded with people who I don't know if they're allies or enemies, so I was gonna leave that one off. God damn.
What's the worst that could happen? You could, kill a bunch of orphans, puppies, and kittens?
Yeah, actually.
It's not worse.
I kind of have.
I'm being outed.
I'm calling you out. Let's go.
Talisad makes a very affronted meow from Iseult's.
What if I? What is it cool if I? Is it cooler if I whip out that mace and I just bring it right down on his head, or is that less cool? What's cooler?
That's fucking sweet.
All right, let's go metal on him. I'm gonna just bring it down on his skull, or whatever it is. That's a crit. I fucking rolled a 20 on that.
Told you.
Nice. Well done.
Okay then. The mace is gonna deal 2d6. For 10 points of damage.
Nice.
Very
okay.
nice.
You got a bonus action.
I'm going to do. I have a bonus action. Yeah, I'm just gonna spin that out into my hand and just bring it down on him. Bonus action. Action, bonus action, spiritual weapon. If he's not dead, I can spiritual weapon him.
He's still up.
Oh, okay, then I guess I'm spiritual weaponing him. It's going, as a bonus action, I summon a spiritual weapon. It rolls to attack him. It gets a 24 to hit.
Roll damage.
It's going to deal +3, 8 points of force damage.
What sort of awful thing does your spiritual weapon look like?
It looks like one of
Bunch of
those
orphans.
cat of nine tails. Shut up.
All right, the cat of nine tails comes out. You slam it on its head. It begins to wobble back and forth. The cat of nine tails appears from a fiery smoke and slams against its back. It wheels forward a little bit closer to Iseult and the young boy.
DSR approves.
That is going to take us to strikes from afar.
I think I will try to quickly hide amongst the crowd, and then I'm going to smite him with an arrow.
Okay, roll me a quick stealth check.
Yep. Let's see here. My stealth check is a 16.
Okay.
Then I will try to strike him with an arrow. Did my hide succeed?
Yes, it did.
All right, so I have.
But I'll tell you what.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. I'll add 3 to his armor class, and if you hit it, you can break off one of its pincers.
Fair. Okay. So I am striking with advantage, and I get to reroll one of my dice because of element accuracy. Does a 27 hit him?
That's 10 more than you needed.
All right. Well, so I strike off the pincher that is holding Johann, and it goes clattering to the floor. And my arrow does. Let's see. Probably a lot of damage. Well, it could have been more. 20 points of damage.
Okay, fucking solid ass damage right there. Johann, you drop to the ground, and you see that the magic that you had put into this thing is crawling through the veins of this pincer. It lets out a horrible roar. Anything else on your turn?
No, I think I've taken both of my actions that I can take.
Iseult.
Excellent. So how much overkill do we want here?
How much we got?
Overkill, or do we
Is
want...
there enough overkill, really? Like, go nuts.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I want to save... If I only have 2 spell slots, remember. Although I also get them back on a short rest, so...
How much time till midnight, out of curiosity?
Right now, we're looking about 8 minutes. In the real world, which is when we're going to be done, and in the game, 30 seconds.
All right, then go nuts.
All right, well, in that case, I am going to need that dude to make a constipation saving throw.
Constipation saving throw, we're looking at a 16.
Well, that's 1 less than he needs, and so I just look at him, and I'm sure I say something epic and fancy and whatever.
Well written and thought out.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Happy
you
birthday.
filthy animal.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And then I am
for dinner.
Let's see. Let me just make sure it's not okay, no, it's not a touch attack. I'm gonna cast Blight, and at 5th level, that's 98 necrotic.
Oh, Blight is not a pleasant spell. That's very mean.
It's super
I'm
gross.
literally using a dice roller for that. So that's going to be 41 necrotic damage.
Shit.
We tried to warn you this was the wrong house.
There we go.
Listen!
Yeah.
He melts into a little puddle, screaming back to the abyss.
He's almost there.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's still alive. Good God. Well, and I'm done with my turn.
He is almost there. Okay. So, with that at the end of your turn, the Veiled Mistress is going to quickly sprint around you back to the young lad and is going to grab onto him and is going to throw a 4th level chromatic orb. But she is also going to twin spell a dimension door.
Nice.
So she's going to get him the fuck out of there, and she is going to make a spell attack. But it's not looking good. 6 plus 7, she's gonna miss. And that is going to be the end of her turn, which takes us back up to Setet.
Okay.
Well, at least she's getting him the heck out of there.
I shall
Even if she
run
misses.
in and join my fellows in melee combat. And first attack is going to be a 21.
Hit.
Okay. Let's roll damage. If I can find my dice. Here we go. Roll. 25?
Points of damage?
20, yes.
Is that a magical weapon?
Yes it is.
Okay, that's exactly what you needed.
Ah!
So as you leap onto the back of this thing, you just circle his head like a can opener. And as his head peers back into your eyes, and the last thing it chokes out is, "I will remember." And the head dislodges and the body drops into a black goo, except for the arm radiating that necrotic energy that was put into it by Johann.
Mm-hmm.
The pincer looks like a fine kind of heavy hammer. But with that, as we are approaching midnight ourselves, the bell gongs midnight, and he is proper 13. The rest of the night kind of is in a quick tizzy as the knights, squires get their families, their charges quickly to their carriages. The carnage that those poor teamsters had to see, just clown limbs everywhere. It's a nightmare, frankly. The horses don't blink the entire way home. It's fucking terrible. But you are offered a place to stay as thanks. And the young master is extremely grateful, puts you guys up. And in the morning, as you go to leave, both he and the Veiled Mistress, Eleanor, share a hug and a kiss on the cheek.
Aww.
And as you all wave goodbye, you see as he lifts his arm up, he pulls up his shirt, and he sees pink scales around his neck.
Ha ha.
Oh.
And that is the end of the session. You get your ship back. Yaasbitch does exactly what she says.
Mm-hmm.
You get your ship and your crew back.
Excellent.
Nice.
So do I have a new weapon now? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, you do. The Pincer of a Glabrazu is going to do 2d10 plus strength weapon, bludgeoning. Or you can, if you hit with an attack, you can instead decide to grapple.
Neat. Is that in there, or do I have to create that?
You have to make that.
Okay, I can make it.
Yeah.
Very neat.
So instead of doing damage, you can grapple, and they have to make a DC 15 to escape.
Ooh. Homebrew.
Were the uncle people disappointed that the teen didn't die?
With the kind of insight you all have been pulling out today, yeah, kind of. They're playing the worry warts, but oh no, I'm glad everything turned out okay. I'm glad you're safe. But there's definitely like some eye rolling there. But damn, it was great having most of the party back together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, show.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
If we had Roger here, undoubtedly we would have been out of here at like 10 o'clock.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
He just would have walked in and it's like,
always
oh, these are the people doing it, and then eat them.
Yeah.
He always finds the best, like most unorthodox yet most wonderful way to solve the problem.
I legitimately, had you made a deception check well enough and said, no, this isn't it, that Glabrezu would have left.
Yep.
I'm disappointed that I'm not better at deception, but you know.
Yeah, I had the Glabrezu coming in at the last minute. It was always the plan that like a demon would show up at the last minute. But like, yeah, just like, no, it's the wrong one. Oh shit. But yeah. Have a great night.
Yep.
Let's get this. Let's keep this momentum. Let's do it again soon.
Definitely.
For sure.
It was super fun. Thank you.
Is that definitely a two-handed weapon, or is it one-handed?
Two-handed.
Okay.
Fucking two-handed all day.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night,
Yeah. Bye-bye.
It's just you and me, Shag?
It seems to be. I will end my recording.